on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Stats Norsworthy.
Beautiful morning, get the sun on my morning, babe.
It is a Tuesday game day, May 3rd, 2022, in Memphis. We're checking in with Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn and Brett Stats Norsworthy with you live from the Family Leisure Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. I am Gabe Kuhn on Twitter at G_Kuhn71. Producing the program on the ones and twos, Go Tigers 247. Writer Bryant Dacus on Twitter at Bryant_Dacus. Brian, how are you?
Oh, I'm fantastic, Gabe.
You catch some good NHL hockey last night.
Oh, I probably watched 95% of the hockey games last night. It was a fantastic night.
And by the way, I'm going to introduce Brett in a second, but not 9-0-1 anymore in the last 10. It is now 10-0-1. Blues versus Wild after a 4-0 victory. How about that? But my partner does pre and post for the Ole Miss Football Radio Network. He is Brett Stats Norsworthy on Twitter at Brett Norsworthy. Brett, how's it going?
Going great, big man. And, boy, your Blues last night.
They got after it. How about it?
I think the shocker of the night in the hockey for me was that score and the margin of my Maple Leaves, taking care of business against the two-time champ, back-to-back champ, three-time total, Tampa Bay Lightning.
Honestly, not a lot of drama.
Please stay with us. We're not going to talk hockey for 3 hours. Don't turn the channel, please.
But we can if you want to.
Not a lot of drama in any of those NHL playoff games, though. Not much at all.
I thought the Kings game was pretty close. I didn't stay up for it. I was almost comatose during the Dallas-Phoenix basketball game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and we have plenty of that to discuss. NBA playoffs. Suns get over the Mavs.
Get
really
45
easily.
From
45 from Luka.
And you're not even competitive.
Nobody else showed up. And Jason Kidd has said as much. We'll talk about that.
I put that as the free bet yesterday on FanDuel.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh. What was the number even?
Money line was what, Bryant? 260?
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah.
And on the free bet, I want to get out there with something that you can really get some cash on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the Heat.
I'm sorry.
The Heat got after the 76ers, and Doc Rivers is in playoff form. DeAndre Jordan, the whole saga. DeAndre Jordan in 17 minutes, minus 22, and he's
you're
sticking
already
by him.
Square in my not top story.
Yeah,
today.
well, I'll wait on that then. First out of our show brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. A lot to get to, including that and our guests. 3:30, Rob Fisher joins us from Grizzlies TV. He's the sideline analyst for them.
And
we have to. And notable Blues homer fan. I shouldn't say homer.
Notable.
Fan.
The hockey expert.
Yes. So we'll talk to him about a little bit of NHL hockey.
And I'm going to get y'all straight with the correct pronunciation of Calgary.
Rob. That's a good point. You brought that up yesterday.
Hockey insiders.
I still don't.
Well, what?
You trying to slip that in? We're not gonna pass that like you didn't just say that. Hockey insiders. You have industry sources.
I love it.
Industry sources say it's Calgary, not Calgary.
Right.
Nice. But we bring on Rob Fisher at 3:30. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard joins us, as he normally does, at 4 o'clock on a Tuesday for some college football discussion. A lot to get into there, and we've been sort of discussing the NIL stuff, but Jordan Addison, Litnikoff Award winner from Pitt, into the transfer portal. A lot going on between USC, Pat Narduzzi, Lincoln Riley. Whole lot going on there that we have to discuss.
Who would you take in a brawl, Pat Narduzzi or Lincoln Riley?
Lincoln Riley, he's younger.
You think?
But Pat Narduzzi is kind of hard-nosed.
I'll take younger, but Lincoln Riley comes out of there missing an ear. Narduzzi goes far and off.
But he's got a couple of black eyes though.
Yeah.
Narduzzi by the end of it. I think so. But honestly, I don't know how. I mean, if you judge a man by how he cooks brisket, I don't know if we can give Lincoln Riley his.
Don't know if you can trust that.
His flowers. I don't know if he can fight based on how he cooks a brisket. Do those things do those correlate?
Most of the time, they do.
Yeah, most of the time. Most of the time, not every time. Also, 4:30, more Grizzlies discussion with Drew Hill from the Daily Memphian, doing some great. Having great coverage.
Did you see his tweet today about the TV rating from Sunday? And his tweet was, no doubt about it, we'll host on Christmas Day next year.
Yeah, a lot to discuss with him about the Grizzlies now in the playoffs and moving forward. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant joins us to talk some NFL draft. I know he has a lot of recap to get to. AutoZone listener line, 901-360-8255. Get in the zone, AutoZone. You can also watch us live and message us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and at sports56whbq.com. Did you get to catch some Met Gala last night, Brett?
I did.
Did you catch all the great outfits coming into
I'm sorry,
on the red carpet?
I missed it.
What is the Met Gala anyway? It's
I
just
don't know.
fashion. It's a fashion thing. Is that the idea?
I think I saw last night that the ticket is $40,000 a ticket.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
For their fundraiser. I understand that, but
what is it fundraising for? Just arts?
the Metropolitan Museum of Art, right?
Yeah, just for the arts, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
But everyone just everybody gets their outfits off. That's sort of the idea.
It's the world's most prestigious fashion event.
Well, yes.
Is that right?
That's $40,000 to get in the door. That should tell you something.
I guess my invitation got lost in that.
Yeah. Well, I got one. I just turned it down.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
You
Is
did
that
reply,
right?
though. You did
I
RSVP.
did.
Did you have your outfit picked
You were
out?
weird, right?
Well, I don't got time
Bigger-
for all those.
Bigger things came up.
Exactly.
You had to produce the
You got
show.
a cap and
Exactly.
gown
I've
you
got
gotta
to
wear
be
Saturday.
here. Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that's
the
coming
Met
up
Gala,
soon, Brian.
Have you received your cap and gown yet?
I picked it up on Thursday.
That's a big day.
Yeah.
That is a big day.
Yeah, after my exam.
Man, I'm excited for you.
I
That's
am
good
too.
stuff.
Thanks, Gabe.
That's good stuff.
That's a big day.
Another day, another
I
dollar.
need the text line to come congratulate you. 901-360-8255. Send those congratulation messages in to producer extraordinaire Brian Dacus. Also, before we really get into this Grizzlies stuff and what's going on tonight in FedEx Forum, there was a climber on what's the tower in San Francisco, Bryant?
Transamerica Tower, isn't it?
No.
It's a different one. It might be renamed.
Transamerica building?
Jeez. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I haven't seen this. I obviously don't know what's breaking.
There was a climber
Why?
on the tower, on a tower, Salesforce Tower.
Yeah, the
San
Salesforce
Fran.
Tower. He was from Vegas.
Scale-
I don't know why he was in San Francisco, but climbed the whole. It was like 61 stories tall. Just climbed the whole thing. Cops were standing on the top waiting for him. I guess
Scaled
it's,
the whole thing.
one of two ways this could end up is he could either get to the top and get arrested, or
Yeah,
of
splat.
course the other way.
He scaled
So,
the entire
yeah,
thing.
made it all the way up.
Didn't have any climbing
Barehanded.
equipment.
Yeah.
And he got to the very top and did not. He knew he was going to get
I mean, he's
arrested.
probably exhausted.
He accepted
I mean,
it. He accepted it. Well, he wasn't going to go back down. I'll tell you
No.
that.
One wrong step and
exactly. But he's getting arrested with trespassing and
nuisance.
and resisting
Right.
arrest. So, I mean, technically, once you get through all that, that's a pretty cool story to tell.
It's a
After you get through all that,
60-story tower that he scaled up the side of.
Wild.
That's
I just don't have any daredevil in me.
Me neither.
None.
you've never
have.
I always thought about jumping out of an airplane.
No.
I always thought about
I
it.
want to take
Never
off
never
and
went
land,
through.
just like the book says.
Never went through with it.
No, I'm not jumping out.
No
of
skydiving.
No.
No thought of it ever.
None.
Okay.
Nope.
Understood.
I do want to go to Albuquerque and ride the balloons.
That's pretty daredevil, kind of.
Like what? Hot air balloons?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I could do
They have
that
a balloon
either.
festival every year.
I couldn't do that.
My parents did
too
it and
hot.
loved it.
Yeah, that's up there though, and you're just in that basket.
You're right. I just go to Albuquerque and eat the great food and go to Albuquerque.
You know what? It's cool enough to just watch them. There's enough balloons out there.
Breaking news on CNN, horrible balloon accident. Little man from Memphis involved. What a terrible way to go
Wow.
with all the stuff I've already survived. No way I'm doing that. That was nuts.
Sports 56 personality.
At the
huh?
bottom of the screen. You
That's that.
think
No,
I'd
just
make
say
it?
little guy. That's what Brett
wait.
says. Little guy.
Nice
little guy
man.
from Memphis.
That would be, what, for a if they were announcing death, I think that would be a pretty. That would be a little disingenuous to call
Well, they
someone.
could say worse.
Little man dies.
Say a lot worse.
Say worse.
Well, yeah. Well, you got to deserve
Little
that.
blankety blank.
All right, Grizzlies Warriors game 2 tonight. Warriors up 1-0. I'm not going to even do it. I'm not going to say must win, can't lose. But I will say, going down and thinking about going down 2-0 headed to Chase Center is not any situation you want any part of. If you're
The Grizzlies, the grit and grind assemblage, did come back from 2-0 down to the Clippers and win 4-2, but this isn't the Clippers.
Well, this is the difference in not just NBA experience, but playoff experience, championship experience. If they're up 2-0, they know how to play with that lead. They
This isn't
have
the Clippers.
They have
That's
a
right.
good coach. They have good players. They know exactly what they need to do in this situation. So going down 2-0, heading to San Fran is just a terrible.
We
thought.
all know the score.
Did you see?
We know.
Did you see what Steve Kerr had to say this morning?
I did.
He said it's going to be a physical night at the office for the Warriors. And I think that's what the Grizzlies need to do to get them out of their game. The Warriors want to play around the perimeter. They want to shoot the ball. Defensively, they want to try to make you shoot over them.
I thought the plan Sunday was great.
I thought it was fine.
Just didn't win.
I thought it was fine. But I think defensively, the Grizzlies, and I went back and watched game one last night and some of the defensive sort of what the Warriors were doing.
I thought a critical point was up 42-29, and then a blink of an eye, it was tied.
Yep.
And then had
10-0 run immediately.
And then had that same moment late in the game, and then was down. The Grizzlies got down by about 8 or 10. You can't have those wild swings.
Well, and also defensively, the Grizzlies were not locked in. They were doing the same things that they were doing against Timberwolves. The Timberwolves.
Buying the head fakes.
Yeah, buying the head fakes, closing out on things they shouldn't close out on. And the Warriors, every single time, will make the extra pass and make you pay. Every single time.
It's nuts. The Grizzlies almost played too hard Sunday. It was a little out of control.
Offensively, I thought they were locked in. And obviously that starts with Jared and John. But defensively, yes, they were frantic. Yeah. Dillon Brooks, and we're used to Dillon Brooks being in the right place and being a pest and making people angry on the defensive end. He was out of place constantly the entire night. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you got to give the Warriors credit for what they do. They do a lot of movement off ball. Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole.
He was hustling, but he was in scramble mode.
Stephen Curry, they all move off ball so well, and they set so many back screens that it just gets tough after a while.
Hard to go over the top of those screens.
It gets tough after a while to stick to those guys. But in a lot of ways, I think the Grizzlies had some self-inflicted wounds not closing out or closing out too hard on certain guys.
Yeah, and then they get their feet set, and you can put it on the board.
Yes, it's just about.
And I didn't think Golden State had a torrid shooting day Sunday.
No,
it was just okay.
Between Steph Curry and Jordan Poole, they were fantastic.
First 3 quarters, Steph wasn't outstanding.
I mean, if you finish the game 5 for 12 from 3, I'll count that a good night.
Good.
Jordan Poole 5 for 10, 31 points. I mean, by the end of the day, if you have 2 of those guys shooting at that level,
it's huge, and
it's tough.
This is what you want.
Mm-hmm. Now,
who wouldn't have signed up for this on opening night?
The one thing you do have to wonder about is Klay Thompson. Is he going to turn it on? You'd think certainly at some point, yes.
Yeah.
And you'd think tonight
might be the last 2 missed free throws of the series.
Yeah, probably so. But Grizzlies need to take it to them. And also Steve Kerr was mentioning something about and talking about 50-50 balls and getting on the ground and everything else. I feel if the Grizzlies get those 50-50 balls, do what they did during the regular season, they can stick in any game like they did in game 1. But the Warriors are making that a point of emphasis. So we'll see how it works out.
They are. This hour of our show brought to you every day by the one and only Lexus dealership in town. That's at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's Lexus of Memphis. And they are online at lexusofmemphis.com. Give them a call for any inquiry, 901-334-9673. Great offers on all 2022 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2022 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. 901-334-9673. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
And that is the Grizzlies taking on the Warriors. 8:30, FedEx Forum tonight. Here it is, 1-0. Warriors are ahead. Grizzlies need to tie this thing up if they want to go ahead and ultimately win this series, which is what they want to do. I thought in game 1, Ja was great. Jaren was great. But here's what it's going to come down to, and I think for the rest of the series, perimeter defense. What are you doing to capitalize on the Warriors' mistakes? What are you doing in closing out and trying to play over these back screens, deal with all the off-ball movement? That's what it's going to come down to. You can't let them get open looks like Klay Thompson got at the end to put them up 117-116, especially in that moment. And I thought Dillon Brooks was not great the other night defensively. Neither was Desmond Bane. Ja, we know he's not great, but it's going to come down to Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., and DeAnthony Melton. Guys like this being able to lock in on the defensive end and stay glued to their guys off ball. If they can do that, they give themselves a chance every single night. And if they don't, it could be a short series.
And that's a big hole to climb out of, down 2-0. My top story right there, 8:30, 191 Beale Street, as the great Isaac Simpson says. FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Grizzlies must win. I'll say it. 1-1, and then go 1-1 in San Francisco. It's the same math as last round. They can win, then that way they can win it just by winning games at FedEx Forum, Games 5 and Game 7. Quit flying around at the shooters.
Yep. Stop
biting on every head fake. Sunday, again, I'll say it, the effort was hard, almost too frantic, almost played too hard.
Lock in and do your job, right?
That's it.
Don't focus on everybody else. There was
Steve Kerr said keeping Memphis in front of them, or staying in front of Memphis is the key. I think the same for Golden State. Stay in front of them.
And I think there was one possession late in that game. I think Andrew Wiggins got behind the defense, and Brandon Clark closed out on a three-point shooter that was
like
not
a house on fire.
Didn't even have the ball yet, and Andrew Wiggins just goes right behind for an easy layup. That type of thing late in the game.
A for effort.
It tied at 112. I understand your thought process. I get where you're coming from, but do your job. Rely on your teammates to do their job as well on the defensive end, and I think it'd be a lot better for them. Because offensively, I didn't mind what they put out there the other night. They outshot the Warriors from the three-point arc. Jaren Jackson was locked in. John Morant was able to do what he could do inside the paint. DeAnthony Melton woke up, but it's about defense. It's about closing out on those shooters and making sure that perimeter defense is sort of locked in.
Not top story of the day.
Not top story of the day. That has to do. My gosh. I just, when it comes to the 76ers and it comes to Doc Rivers.
Doc and the 76ers, preach on, I'm with you.
He's literally, we had last week when he tried to talk about it. Well, it's not always my fault. You guys don't tell the whole story.
When he puffed his resume.
And I understand, yes, he's dealing with more issue right this second.
Well, a big issue.
Joel Embiid's out. I get that. I completely understand
excuse.
that. And you're playing a really good team, a team that's going to really bother you defensively. But at the same time, the effort they put out last night and his coaching job last night was pitiful.
He always looks frantic.
Was absolutely pitiful. And after the game, after DeAndre Jordan, by the way, I'll read his stat line for you. 4 points, two rebounds. He's a 7-footer, 2 rebounds. 2 for 2 from the field, that's cool. But 17 minutes, minus 22, plus minus. I know plus minus doesn't tell you everything.
Which one of those 2 rebounds was his favorite?
I know plus minus doesn't tell the whole story all the time, but DeAndre Jordan is not going to help you win a playoff series against this Miami Heat team. And after the game, Doc Rivers says, we like DJ. We're going to start him whether you like it or not.
Okay,
Doc,
he
was minus 22 in 17 minutes. Here's the thing. If you want to play him, if you want to throw out that same effort, that same the supposed adjustment you made with Joel Embiid out, if you want to do that same thing again tonight or tomorrow night, you're going to lose. And by the end of this year, if you don't compete in this series, if you don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals, it was nice knowing you. You're not going to be in Philly anymore.
Would Jay Wright be the new coach there?
Ooh, that's a good thought. That's an interesting thought. I do believe
it'd be a popular choice.
You know what? I do
for a popular coach,
but
for a nice man in Doc Rivers.
Let me pose this to you. Do you think Jay Wright is really thinking about going to the NBA this year, or do you think he wants to wait a little bit?
I don't know, but he would have to be listening, wouldn't he? Especially at home in Philly.
He'd listen, but pretty fresh him leaving Villanova.
It's not ending well for Doc.
No, it's not.
That's my not top story. Uncanny. We got both of them locked in. Doc and the Sixers with more bad luck, and truly bad luck, in losing that big piece in Joel Embiid. That should buy just about everybody else some wiggle room, but not there. He doesn't have enough. They're down 1-0, and James Harden stumbling around, not looking very good. Doc may have to read us that resume again this week. You ready for it? He kind of preached at us last week, didn't he?
Yeah.
No Joel Embiid is a valid excuse, but it almost always gets something almost always gets Doc Rivers at this time of year. Something.
You would think, and this is just me, being in the playoffs every year, seemingly, in his career after the Magic days, You'd think he'd have some playoff experience and he'd make the right adjustments.
He looks frantic.
He doesn't. It seems at times, and I know this is not the case. Doc Rivers is a smart basketball mind. There's no question about it. But in the playoffs, he doesn't. It seems like he doesn't know what he's doing. It seems like he cannot make the right adjustments at the right time.
You want a way back Wednesday moment?
Let's hear it.
Give me Doc Rivers' real first name.
Oh gosh.
I remember him at
no.
Marquette.
Oh no, Bryant, help me. Come on.
Doctor.
No, come on. I don't know. What is it?
Glenn.
Okay.
Glenn.
Yeah, I should have known that.
Come on, Glenn.
But Doc, you gotta be better than that. There's no question about it. That'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Did you know your butt has a favorite app? That's right, it's SeatGeek. SeatGeek app is the best way to buy tickets for live events. I love the variety. I know a lot of people had Beale Street Music Fest tickets this weekend, had a good time there. But let me point you in the right direction for our last-second Grizzlies tickets. $63 a piece. That's what they're going for right this second. And that may sound too good to be true, but it's not. I'm telling you right this second, $63 and up, you can go buy Warriors versus Grizzlies tickets for tonight, 8:30 in FedEx Forum. Go right now to the SeatGeek app or SeatGeek.com. SeatGeek is so beloved by butts everywhere because they've made it the highest-rated ticketing app. SeatGeek rates every ticket from 0 to 10 to make sure you're getting a good deal. Green means good. Red means bad. Those $63 tickets, they're right in the green. They're right where you want them to be. Go buy them right this second. I'll give you $20 off your first purchase with promo code GABE56. That's GABE56. It'll ask you for a promo code. You put in GABE56 for $20 off your first order at SeatGeek.com or on the SeatGeek app. That's promo code GABE56, GABE56 for $20 off your first SeatGeek order. SeatGeek, get your seat in a seat. Download the app today. Let's go ahead and get to our first break of the day. When we come back from that break, time to talk with Rob Fisher.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Do you have nightmares about your finances? Are you struggling to save for emergencies? Are you wanting to buy a home and not sure how to get the funds to do so? Well, it's time to get a handle on your finances with a personalized session with Nicasia, your money coach and certified personal financial counselor with Tate Enterprise. She is available to help you create your vision of financial freedom. It all starts by booking your session today at NicasiaTate.com. That's NAKASIA Tate.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Sheldon Rosengarten, and I'm with you, Mallory, and we're both with Mark's Benstorff Realtors. Well, a lot of people think about buying or selling a home being as much fun as having root canal. We can tell you that if you go about it the right way, it's like winning the lottery.
That's right, Sheldon. If you prepare prior to your home search or home sale, which includes using us as your agents, you'll feel like you've accomplished every objective you set out to attain, and you've won the lottery.
If you value experience and knowledge and rely upon those that can guide you to a successful conclusion, there's no better call to make than to us. Even after talking to 2 to 3 other real estate brokers, most people come back to us because their friends have told them that when you want the job done, call Shell Done.
Or Mallory Moves Memphis in whatever part of town you're in.
Call or email me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Or you can reach me, Hugh Mallory, at 497-9756.
That's Shell Done Rosengarten at memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. Do it now so you can win the lottery.
Have a taste for some chicken salad? If you don't, find out why you definitely should. Alex Farm's Hickory Smoked Chicken Salad is guaranteed to be one of your favorite chicken salads in the world. And that's not all. Beef brisket, pulled pork, pulled chicken, loaded spuds, and so much more awaits you at 7164 Hacks Cross Road in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Everything is made fresh daily. Friday and Saturdays are special with smoked wings, ribs, and cold brew. See Mr. and Miss Henderson today and let them know you heard it on Sports 56.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
I work hard for this. I want you to know that.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Back rolling on Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn, Brett Stats, Norsworthy, Brian Dacus with you. Now, very, very pleased to be joined by Rob Fisher, obviously Memphis Grizzlies sideline reporter for Bally Sports at DFishNation on Twitter. Rob, how are you, man?
Don't forget NHL Insider. Hello,
I
gentlemen.
was going, okay, all right. I was going to bring that up off the top. How about those Blues last night? I've been accused of being a homer already,
man?
By the way.
That's right. The note going out, taking care of business on the road. We hate everything Minnesota right now as Grizzlies fans and Blues fans.
Yes.
Down with the Wild.
Rob, help me with these people, please. I said Calgary yesterday.
Oh, seriously?
And they thought I was from the Blue Lagoon. Tell them that us hockey insiders know it is Calgary.
Yeah, it's Calgary. That's how the Canadians pronounce it. It's a Canadian sport.
Can
Calgary,
you point me in the right direction?
Montreal.
Where did you? Okay, where did you learn this?
Do your whole Canadian-sounding hockey player routine, Rob.
You just got to go out and work hard. Battling the boards. Get the loose puck.
Right.
Work harder than they do. That's all you have to do in hockey, and you'll see it in post games during the playoffs. When you lose, you just didn't work as hard as the other team. When you win, you worked harder.
That's it.
That's what hockey's all about, just working hard.
Hey,
yeah.
That's it.
But the Blues seem to work hard. Blues are watching them last night. That's a physical hockey team. It's just like what they were in 2019 too when they won the Cup.
Yep. I like the Blues this postseason. I'm picking the Blues. I got the Blues over Stats Leafs. In this, Lord
no, I literally have the exact same pick, Rob. That's wild.
What
Blues
about
in 6?
What about your conference finals, Rob?
Oh, I haven't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the bracket. I just know the Blues are playing.
No, in the meantime, though, you need to send me to your contact that told you it was Calgary, because that throws me off.
Gabe,
I'll take your word for it for now, but I need confirmation.
Back in the day, when I worked in Las Vegas, 1995 to 1997, worked at Sports Fan Radio Network. I was our NHL insider.
There we
so
go.
I'm the only source you need,
Okay,
dude.
all
It's
right.
Calgary.
Fair. Okay, that's fair. Dropping the credentials.
4-hour overnight show, too, wasn't it, Rob?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I did a show with Phil Esposito, a hockey show each week, and yeah, man, it was a big deal. I was a big hockey guy. I used to know every guy in the league and know things about hockey. Now it's let's go Blues, and that's about all.
Rob, I'm serious. I'm very serious when I say this. And Chris Raby has too. Friends of mine that have really deeply, thoughtfully covered NHL, NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball, and college football and college basketball in this area.
Yeah.
That is quite a resume, Rob.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And, I mean, it's funny because, you moved to Memphis and, I was such a hockey fan and I was literally a hockey insider. And then I moved to Memphis and it just stopped. It stopped overnight. And, I still watch the playoffs and still follow the Blues, but yeah, it just changed. And, I wasn't really an NBA guy when I lived in St. Louis. And then to come here, and to be around Hubie Brown and just learn so much about basketball from Hubie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a fast track class when you were around Hubie. And that was huge for me as far as learning the game of basketball and being here and getting ingrained with the Grizzlies. And now
look at
16 years. Yeah, 16 years I've been working with the team, and it's been cool. It's been cool to be able to do all the sports and to be able to cover major league sports and heck the best of college athletics as well. So it's been a fun ride for sure.
Rob Fisher, our guest. Grizzlies down 1-0 to the Warriors. Have to go get a win tonight. Take it to Chase Center. You certainly want to have that win in your pocket. Where do you think they fell short the other night? Where do you think their biggest issues remain in this series?
Well, I think the other night it was just a lot of little things. I think you come out of game one and just say you got to tighten things up a little bit. There were some careless turnovers that turned into points. I think the three statistics that I look at that are big in this series: fast break points, they were pretty even. Mm-hmm. Second chance points, they were pretty even. Points off turnovers, they were even. Those are three areas where the Grizzlies can win.
Yep.
And not that you have to win all three. I mean, if you're even in two and you win one of them, you win that game. Those were three areas they played really well against the Warriors in the regular season. I think the points off turnovers might be number one on that list. And you want to get out. And if you're scoring on turnovers and you're outscoring them on turnovers, well, generally you're probably going to outscore them on the break. So those two almost go hand in hand because you get those points in transition. But the big difference too is rebounding. I mean, that's the first time the Warriors have out rebounded the Grizzlies this season. And the Grizzlies need to be better on the boards, and to be better on the boards against Golden State, it takes a team effort. You look at their team the other night and how many guys they had that had at least 6 rebounds. It was a great team effort from Golden State to crash the board. Grizzlies need that sort of effort defensively, and rebounding is a lot of effort. But it's also when you're playing a team that it's a lot of long shots. Brevin Knight brought up a good point. When you're the guard out on the perimeter, when you turn around when a shot goes up, normally you'll crash to the board. You'll take 3 hard steps to the basket. Against this team, you got to mentally be prepared that when you turn around when that shot goes up, to just take 1 step, maybe 2 steps if you're way out there, because the rebounds are coming out a lot further. So you have to be more aware of that. Can't have the rebounds going over your head. You got to be in front of them and be able to go grab them. And Grizzlies need to do a better job of rebounding.
So one thing Brett and I discussed yesterday is that game was well competed. Like, it really was. And I thought the Grizzlies played well in a lot of ways, especially on the offensive end. It almost gave you the sense, more of a positive sense than some of the wins they got in that Timberwolves series. Did you get that sense as well?
Yes.
We belong.
Yes, 100%. Mm-hmm. Yes. And I think mainly because when the game was over, it felt like we saw Grizzlies basketball. Mm-hmm. In the Minnesota series, every game you were hard-pressed to say that you saw Grizzlies basketball. And in a few of the games, you just thought, wow, they just found a way to win somehow. I don't know how it happened. But this one, they were able to play their brand of basketball because the styles are they just match up better in this series against Golden State than they did against Minnesota. So they'll be able to play their brand of basketball, and I think that's what was encouraging following Game 1. I don't feel any different about this series after the Game 1 loss than I did before the series started. I thought you'd probably split these first two, and then you got to go win one in Golden State. I mean, the Warriors have won a road playoff game in 25 consecutive series, which is unbelievable statistically. So you knew you were going to have to go win on the road. But this team has shown that they can win at Golden State. They did it this year, and I would expect them to be able to do it again. So I'm not overly concerned. Now, tonight's huge. I mean, you go down 0-2 in your head there, you're in deep trouble. But if the Grizzlies can get tonight, I think you're in decent position heading out to San Francisco over the weekend. So I was happy they're able to play their brand of basketball, and I think your adjustment, it's not freaking out needing to adjust for Game 2. I think it's just we've got to tighten up. We've got to value our possessions a little bit more. Can't have lazy turnovers. Can't give them extra possessions. The Grizzlies are the team that need extra possessions. They just didn't get them in Game 1. But it doesn't take a lot to get that. And, heck, you lost by 1 point. You get a couple of extra possessions in that game, or take away that 3-possession that they had that ended in a Klay Thompson 3. You take that one away, you win this game. So I don't think it's much that the Grizzlies have to adjust going into Game 2.
Rob, Gabe and I tried to yesterday, and today might be the shelf life expiration of it. We wanted to celebrate the win over Minnesota and vanquishing them. I call them the thing that wouldn't go away, like something on the bottom of your shoe. I'm so glad the Grizzlies are done with them. Rob, a lot of teams would have coughed that series up. The Grizzlies didn't. They won it in 6.
I'll tell you what, Brevin Knight and I, we do a podcast called Night Court, and we've been doing it between every game of the postseason so far. And after Game 6, I mean, that was how we felt. It was relief that it was over, relief that you dispatched of them. I mean, I felt going into that series it was a bad matchup. I was nervous about the series. They didn't make it easy the entire series. I mean, other than Game 2. The Grizzlies just found ways to win. I mean,
I never want to see Malik Beasley again.
No, God, no. I mean, he's now going to go down in Grizzlies lore as a Grizzlies killer. And that guy that when you see, like, oh, he kills the Grizzlies. But it was just one of those series that it was. There were no X factors. There was nothing in every game. We would talk about who's going to be the X factor tonight or what's the important statistic, and it just didn't matter. Those things didn't come to fruition at all throughout the series. It was just a matter of finding it, finding a fourth quarter run, surviving, being around late, giving yourself a chance to win. It was almost like every game was a road game.
Now, one thing
just
you could
put yourself in position, and the Grizzlies did.
One thing you could count on is Minnesota would hit the knucklehead button.
Yep.
Yes, and as that team. Brevin said it on the broadcast night in and night out. When you got into the fourth quarter and the Grizzlies would be trailing, he'd say, who's going to make the play for Minnesota?
Yep.
Who's going to make that shot? And I think as a young team and as a team that doesn't necessarily have a point guard orchestrating things, that was a problem for them. I think it was a great learning experience for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Huge on how much you have to value possessions in the postseason, how much every possession matters, especially down the stretch, how to close games, how to play with a lead. Those are a lot of things that they took out of that series. And I think it was a really good learning experience for Minnesota. And I think for the Grizzlies, it was a good learning experience of sometimes when the playoffs come, throw out what you've done all season long and just find a way to survive and advance. And the Grizzlies were able to do that.
And they have to take this series ahead of them. The other one, in a lot of ways, it was given to them game to game. They have to go and take this one with the experience that the Warriors have. Now,
Golden State's not going to make those mistakes.
Right.
Golden State's not going to give up double-digit leads in the fourth quarter. I mean, they did in Game 1. Grizzlies did come back from a double-digit deficit in the fourth quarter, but Golden State ends up winning the game. They know where their bread's buttered. They know what they need to do to get wins, and they have the experience of being there before. So, yeah, you're not going to steal games from Golden State.
Couple of things before we let you go. What is your sense on what Taylor will do with the starting lineup going forward? Do you think Xavier Tillman will still be inserted into that role? Do you think Brandon Clark has finally earned himself some starting minutes?
Well, I think Brandon Clark's definitely earned a starting position, but not with this team. I think they'll continue to roll with Xavier. I think once Steven Adams is out of health and safety protocols, he'll be inserted back into the starting lineup. I hope that's for Game 3. But I would expect Tillman will be the guy again tonight. If there is a change, I think it would be Kyle Anderson. Okay. I think the one thing about Brandon Clark is when Brandon Clark comes into the game, it's at the beginning of the game or at the beginning of the second half. Clark comes in when the starters of the opposition are at the end of their rotation and they're a little worn down.
Immediate
bringing
spark.
Brandon Clark energy and that bounce, and he's got an advantage. Or they've gone to their bench, and Brandon Clark has an advantage. Plus, Brandon Clark playing with Tyus Jones has been such great synergy all season long. So I think you want to keep Brandon right where he's at. And the way he's been effective in both the Minnesota series and this series, I don't think there's any reason to change it and put him in the starting lineup.
Do you think Desmond Bain going to give it a go tonight, or possibly do you think he may sit out?
He'll be fine. It's playoffs. I'd expect he'll start and he'll play. I'd also expect him to be better than he was in Game 1.
Right.
I expect Dylan Brooks to be better than he was in Game 1. Now, the bad news is I expect Klay Thompson and Steph Curry to be better than they were in Game 1 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Steph didn't really turn it on to the end, but 5 for 12 from 5 for 3 by the end of the game ended up looking pretty good. But he didn't really turn it on until later.
That's Dylan Brooks' job against Steph Curry. If he's going to score 24, get it on 24 shots.
Yep.
If he's going to get 30, make sure it's on 30 shots. And that's going to be Dylan's job. And for how poorly Dylan played offensively, his defense was really good. His effort never wavered.
Mm-hmm.
You just want a little bit more offensively from Dylan. Some better shots, and then some shots to fall. Mm-hmm. So I expect he'll be better tonight. His confidence never wavers. He'll be fine. He's not a guy that you're concerned about going into Game 2. I think that'll be expect a better Dylan tonight. I love that DeAnthony Melton, welcome back to him.
Yep.
I love that he had that sort of performance in Game 1 because he's important in this series as well.
Mm-hmm. He is Rob Fisher at The Fish Nation on Twitter, of course, Memphis Grizzlies sideline and pre- and post-game host for Bally Sports. Rob, appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us.
You got it. Go Grizz.
See you downtown. Thank you, Rob.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Second hour of our show brought to you by our good friends at the Big Green Egg. I always talk about the best ability being your availability. That's in sports. That's in grilling as well. And what I mean by that, Big Green Egg is the last grill you'll ever have to buy. They've had a lifetime warranty on all ceramic parts since 1995. You have a part that goes bad on the Big Green Egg, guess what? Send it in, they send one back. Brand new, you can attach it, you can get going. Folks have had their eggs for 10, 20, 30 plus years. It really is that good. And it's made with
a good egg night.
Yeah, it is. It is. The highest quality ceramic it is made with, and that allows for a lot of people to, obviously, good temperature control, and it doesn't rust. It doesn't rust. Those gas grills that are made out of metal, you get the rain to them, they start to rust, and they go bad after a while. I know you try to hold on to them all that time, but the Big Green Egg is one you can actually hold on to for a long time, and the flavor is going to be fantastic. 100% natural lumpwood charcoal grill. You can smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill. Barbecue, I mean, come on. Get it out tonight. Smoke some ribs on the back patio. Make some burgers. Do it for the Grizzlies game. It's self-explanatory, but also, I always bring this up. Have a friend makes an apple crumble on his egg. Makes a dessert on there, and it is fantastic as well. It comes in 7 different sizes, all with that lifetime warranty, and they really do have a size and a price point for everyone. You can find it around the area, Garden Spas and Pool, Germantown Hardware, Hamilton's Fireplace and Grills, East Memphis Ace, and Cordova Ace Hardware. So if you're looking for a do-it-all, reliable, long-lasting grill at a great price point, look no further than the Big Green Egg. Plenty still to come on Sports Time. We have NBA playoff discussion, Grizzlies versus Warriors. Have to talk sometime during the show. And it really, with all of the stuff going on around town, flew under the radar over the weekend. Grant Gunnell, quarterback from Arizona, transfer from Arizona to Memphis, has entered the transfer portal again, and he's looking to transfer away from the University of Memphis. So we'll talk about all of that on the other side on Sports Time with Game and Stats.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand bottled, taste tested, sent to a few friends, then taste tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com.
Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
People always ask me, what does being a dealer for the people really mean? Does it mean the best value or the best service or the best selection? This is Colin Johnston from DeSoto Auto Sales. For the people is a simple idea. We believe everyone deserves to drive a nicer, newer car. This belief drives the entire team at DeSoto Auto Sales to care more, to try harder, and to work smarter. We're dedicated to helping you find the perfect car for your life and budget. Many people come to DeSoto Auto Sales for help. Maybe they're making payments on a car that's no longer right for them. Or maybe they owe more on their car than it's worth. Or maybe they've had credit problems in the past. Or maybe they're just nervous and want to make sure they're taken care of. No problem is too big for us. We may not be able to help everybody, but I guarantee we will try our best to help you. I'm Colin, and I'm a dealer for the people. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales at 5704 Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Give us a call at 662-890-7184 or pick out your nicer, newer car at DeSotoAutoSales.com.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis.
Let me tell you what Melvin Toast is packing right here, all right?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Get it? Text a message, I don't know the number.
Back rolling Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn, Brett Stats Norsworthy. AutoZone listener lines 901-360-8255. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Send in your text, questions, comments, concerns about the Grizzlies. Grant Cannell, obviously getting in the transfer portal. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. NBA playoffs. Get your texts in there. We have a couple here. Somebody's talking about the Grizzlies. Said the Brooks cannot shoot bricks tonight and go 4 for 30.
Agreed.
I mean, but here's the thing about Dylan Brooks. It's a double-edged sword. You want him
get streaky.
You really want him to be a part of the offense because he is.
We don't want him checking out.
Because let's be real, he's the second best creator offensively on the Grizzlies team.
And he plays so dang hard, but I'm with the texture.
If he's shooting 3 for 13 like he did the other night, it's detrimental. And also,
and a lot of those misses didn't draw iron.
Mm-hmm. Another one.
I mean, it may have marred the goal.
Another text here. Bane was struggling the other night, but I don't expect 2 games in a row like that from him.
I don't either,
agree
but I
with
think
that.
Melton picked up the Bain stat line stuff.
Yeah, and Bain, I mean, you look at his stat line, 3 for 10, 1 for 5 from 3. I wonder how
One more
much,
made bucket, Grizzlies win.
I wonder how much his back bothered him.
Could have been.
And this is, somebody says they say Bain might not play.
We just heard
just
from Rob.
talked with Rob. I doubt that he sits out tonight. That's
He'll
all
give
I'll
it a
say.
go.
He'll give it a go. Now, will DeAnthony Melton have to take some of those minutes? Certainly. But Bain's going to go. And he has been, I don't know if we gave him enough credit this year. 76 out of 82 this year.
Where I gave him credit is the night I heard Isaiah Thomas on NBA TV say that Morant Bain reminds him of Thomas Dumars with the Pistons. Well, he would know.
But and also Desmond Bain he just hasn't, and until now, and I understand why he's maybe hurting a little bit, why his lower back may be hurting, but until now, 76 starts in 82 tries.
Well, just health safety protocols this year. That's amazing.
He really was sort of the Iron Man this year, and with Ja out and Dylan missing extended time, he had to pick up the slack.
A COVID positive could knock you out that much.
Yeah, but he had to pick up the slack in those situations. So I mean, hats off to him. Hopefully he can sort of get that back warmed up tonight.
I wish we'd asked Rob
have a better
Steven
night.
Adams. That was my fault.
Health and well, he did sort of mention it. Once he gets off health and safety, he expects him to start. But health and safety got to clear. So yeah, I think it takes a couple negatives and everything else. Just got to test out. We'll see when that is.
Got to jump through the hoops.
Talked with DeMichael Cole yesterday, and he said Game 3, Game 4 is realistic. So again, we'll wait and see. Now,
after night to be at 1-1.
Yeah, huge. You can't go down 0-2. You just can't. Going to Chase.
They're not
Chase Center,
feeling all good about it.
No. And now again, I think you can feel good about how they competed in Game 1. And if they lose a tightly contested game in Game 2, you're not going to feel good about the series, but I still think you can feel relatively good about them competing against a team
Then
like
you
this.
win the tightly contested award trophy.
Yes. You don't. It's a participation trophy at that point, really. Now, last night, 76ers versus Heat, Mavs versus Suns. Not very fun. 76ers versus Heat, though. I had a feeling this was going to be a disgusting series, just because Joel Embiid not playing. 76ers can't get over this hump without Joel Embiid.
No.
And
I don't know they could with him, but they sure can.
I think they would compete a whole lot better, a full strength Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid back half of that Raptors series did not look good. But James Harden, that's what I want to focus on. He's not himself anymore.
Not even close.
And I've been sort of banging that drum. His first step's not there anymore. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 for 13 from the field. Offensively, he doesn't give you what he used to. And that's just something you have to accept at this point.
You know where we could ultimately end up on who won that trade? Nobody.
That is, oh my gosh, that's a good point.
Nobody.
And who wins the trade if neither of the teams actually end up in a NBA Finals? No one. I agree with that. Because you made that trade thinking NBA Finals this year. If not this year, next year. You have this window open.
And nobody loves him more than Daryl Morey.
But Daryl Morey has to see this and understand what's going on. Daryl Morey, while he has attached his name to James Harden. He has been the right-hand man of James Harden.
They're linked.
He also is not afraid to make moves. He's also generally willing to admit when his moves don't pay off, like with the Rockets.
Early in his tenure there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to make a tough decision, this is time to do it.
I know, but even with that, I do agree with the sentiment.
And
it's
that
going to be
price
hard
tag,
for
where
him.
would he end up?
It's going to be really hard for him to move away from James Harden. Just the nostalgia built up, just the relationship
We're going to get a text.
built up.
Grizzlies, get him cheap with the 76ers having to pay him.
No, that would not fit. That would not fit alongside John Miranda. It would not.
Dylan Brooks, seeing that much craving the ball.
Also, did you see George Niang's stat line from last night? That was fantastic. 0.0 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 0 for 7 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3.
Nice.
In 21 minutes.
Nice.
He had a little better night than I did last night.
Yeah, barely.
That 1 assist.
Yeah.
That 1 assist helped him out. Mavs versus Suns. Luka, 45 points. And they lose by 7. They weren't in the game. And 7 is way closer than what it actually was. And that's what I said yesterday. I'm telling you, they need another guy to step up. That's what Jason Kidd said today. Someone else has to yank that chain. Someone else has to show up to work like Luka did. And it's been Jalen Brunson. Can he continue to do that as you get deeper and deeper into the playoffs? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. That'll do it for hour number 1. Hour number 2 on the way. It's going to be a busy one. We started with Brent Beard on college football, get to Drew Hill from the Daily Memphian on more Grizzlies, and we end the hour talking a little bit of MLB. We'll be right back on Sports Time with Gabe and Stats.
Acura of Memphis invites you to experience the all-new, completely redesigned 2022 Acura MDX. It's the most advanced SUV Acura has ever built. Experience the convenience of full connectivity, including built-in Alexa, Wi-Fi hotspot, and wireless charging. From the stunning interior, complete with third-row seating. Stop by our state-of-the-art facility and take advantage of our aggressive APR offers today at Ridgeway and 385. Or shop online from the convenience of home now. Visit AcuraofMemphis.com.
Mother's Day is this Sunday, and if you're like me, all you want to do is give your mom a hug. If it's not possible for a while, then Dinstall's is here to help you send a sweet message of love. You can choose from Dinstall's signature chocolate-covered strawberries, made with fresh ripe berries dipped in Dinstall's special fondant and covered with rich milk chocolate. Or bring a smile to her face with chocolate-covered grapes and pineapple. Dinstall's will gladly custom pack her favorite assortment, from creams to nuts, caramels to nougats, turtlettes to truffles, and sugar-free chocolates and candies are also available. So celebrate all the moms in your life with Dinstall's candies. Call today and place your order at Laurelwood, Germantown, Pleasant View, Collierville, and downtown. Say thanks, Mom, with Dinstall's, made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world.
Like, I don't know, can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
In the alley since 1948, Mr. Charlie Virgo's world-famous Rendezvous. John, you and your family continue the great work at the Rendezvous. Next year will be the 75th birthday party. Let's start the party now.
Brett, there are so many visitors in town to watch the emerging Grizzlies and to see our great sights and sounds in Memphis. I see them all the time at the restaurant. I want them to know Memphis is a great foodie town. There are so many family-owned, locally-owned great restaurants that have stood the test of time. I won't mention all because the list is too long and I don't want to leave anybody out, but I will mention Jim's Place Grill because my cousins own it. It's a great restaurant and they've stood the test of time, and they are this year celebrating their 100th anniversary. And of course, any visitor that comes to Memphis needs to eat barbecue. And I've said this before, there's great barbecue all over Memphis. I know because I eat it. But if you just have one night to eat barbecue in Memphis, it should be the Rendezvous. It's such a special place with a special staff. And by the way, next year we will be celebrating our 75th anniversary.
The world-famous Rendezvous, serving Memphis in the Mid-South and with the shipping serving the world.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now, back to Sports Time
on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
I think this is the best chicken I ever had.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Hour 2 is here. Sports time. Gabe Kuhn, Brett Stats Norsworthy. If you want to join the show, Autos on Listener Line, text us 901-360-8255. Get in the zone, AutoZone. You can also message us on our socials, and you can watch us there live. Sports 56 WHBQ, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Also, go to our website, sports56whbq.com. Our featured audio's up there. Every hour of every show is up there as well. Without further ado, very pleased to be joined, as we always are on a Tuesday, by Brent Beard, talking some college football on Twitter, at Brent Beard. Brent, how's it going?
Brother Beard, how are you?
Well, I'm doing well, and I found out today that Athlon is due out on June the 7th.
Yes.
Preseason magazine.
That's
now,
a little
There
late.
you go.
I've heard that, we'll comment on that in a minute, but that is significant. Now, I don't know when Lindy's is going to be out somewhere along that line. I've got some communication to one of the guys to hopefully find that out. But a little later than normal. I actually track when they come out and have done so for the last several years. Last year was like May 23rd when it was out. So it's a little later, and obviously because of all that's going on, I don't know if you've really got a choice. Now, Phil Steele won't. He doesn't need to change because he goes later anyway. But if folks are looking for magazines, thinking that they're going to get 1 to 2 or 3 weeks, he'll be a tad later this year.
I would think delaying is probably the way to go with the transfer portal and all the news that could come out potentially.
Better wait on rosters.
Right.
They don't have a choice, frankly, because if you don't, you could. Now, look, when the thing comes out, it's dated to a degree, but I'll say this, and I wonder, Gabe, if, I don't want to make this a young and not so young thing here, but the point is, Brent and I grew up on them, and I don't know if you read them.
Oh, I did.
Growing up.
I definitely did. Yep.
Okay, good. My faith in
Lindy's
humanity
every year.
is restored again. Okay.
Love Lindy himself. Love Lynn Scarborough with the Lindys, and Brent. For me, I would kind of with the Arkansas roots. Dave Campbell's Arkansas football magazine was a go-to for me. And then I loved Street and Smith all those years.
Yes.
And I loved in Street and Smith, the back page, the last page, would always do the historical thing. 10 years ago, so and so won the Heisman, won the Outland, such and such won the national championship. And 15 and 20 and 25 and 40 years ago, they still have a place. And you talk to all those people in that industry, and they put out a college football magazine. They put out NFL. They put out basketball and baseball. College football dwarfs everything. The rest of the readership, the rest of the bought magazines by all the other sports don't come close to the college football galaxy. It is America's number 2 sport. I'm tired of arguing with people that want to argue with me about it.
Well, it is, and will. And I think it will always continue to be. The interesting thing about Street and Smith is the cover had players with get this now, some folks are going to be snickering on the
I know where you're going.
This, that you either had a single bar or you didn't have one at all.
Helmet with no face mask on.
That's right.
Even when we had them.
Yes. Yeah, which was unusual.
That was a daring man, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. I had the big extended face mask. You know, that old line face mask. The only thing I didn't do was the bar in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, well, but it was funny to see
the Larry Zonka hook.
Oh, I did have the hook. But the bar down the middle was the greatest. The Mean Joe Green bar.
Yes.
Oh, I loved it.
It was Gabe. It was basically if you had a bar, it was a single bar. basically what a kicker would have.
Well, they can't do that anymore.
What about the Earl Campbell single bar?
Morton Anderson wore it till the bitter end, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
That was down the middle that was just added on to the face mask. It didn't all come. I'm going to show Gabe. All right, check out the face mask. That bar was added.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Well,
that's just beautiful.
That's art right there.
I'm glad, it's beautiful. But I'm glad we've come a long way.
I'll tell you
glad
what's unusual about, and I give Phil still a lot of credit for this. I don't know anybody else who could do this, but Phil actually, and not all of them, and you can imagine who probably won't do it, but he actually talks to coaches for maybe an hour, and he'll tweet out, talk to Coach so-and-so, thank you for his time, for an hour about his roster or his depth chart. I mean, who in the world could do that now?
He's amazing. That writing is amazing. That code of his, it's amazing. And Brent, we're at the point, and on Thursday, we've joked a lot about it. Thursday is the official college, day after tomorrow is the official college football solstice. Thursday will mark we're closer, and we can say this year as opposed to last year. But Brent, this running theme in college football around this time of year, it feels like every offseason around this time, there's some issue that is the end of college football, health and safety, COVID, NIL. Every year in May, some want to write college football's obituary, and then we get closer and closer to the countdown and media days and reporting to August camp, and we kick off, and everything's fine.
Well, I think a lot of people have already said once we kick off and you see uniforms on the field that it will make a difference. Now, it wasn't that long ago where we spent, and Gabe, if you haven't experienced this, you will at some point. There is no off-season like tracking expansion. Now, Brett remembers this, it wasn't that long ago where we had in May that, I mean, it was just up for grabs. Everybody possibly could have expanded. And there were, again, depending on who you talk to, we were maybe, I don't know, a day, 24 hours away from a seismic shift that never really came.
No Big 12 existing.
Yes. So it was, that's what made that May and June so much fun was everybody, I don't know anything that fires fan bases up besides getting and tracking a new coach like expansion. I would say new coach 1, expansion maybe 2, or even reverse as far as an exciting off season. Is that fair to say?
Very, very fair. And Brent, I don't think there's any way, especially the week of, especially while we're there, that we can ever top last year's media day earthquake. I don't think it can be topped.
No.
But this summer, and it really starting.
That timing was great.
It was, and that was not coincidental.
No, I wouldn't think.
And really, very, very few things are around sports. It seems like they end up being coincidental. But Brent, we're feeling a little seismic shift rumbling right now with the AAC teams wanting to get out early and be in the Big 12 for the season of 2023. That's next year. And with that, our friend Pat Smith at Jocks, a guest on this show a lot of times with us, and I'm on his show a lot of times, he's calling SEC Texas OU part of it in 23.
They would, if that is going to happen, I would think that it would have to, I mean, it'd be great to see it. I wouldn't want to be the schedule maker.
I would bet against it.
Right.
And I like Pat a lot, but I would bet against it.
Right.
I like him a lot.
But there would have to be some unbelievable things that would have to happen. I mean, I've heard that too. I heard that about
big checks have to be written.
Yeah. Oh, yes. About 3 months ago is a possibility. So, I mean, obviously, if you're the Big 12, I think the dilemma there, if you're the Big 12, do you want to keep them around and keep that money, and the prestige they bring you, are you at the point where you're ready to wash your hands of them and let them go?
There's the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pride's one thing, bankroll's another.
Based on everything I've seen on Oklahoma and Texas front, it just seems like the SEC move's not happening until 2025.
Until 25.
Yeah.
And that's when they can free and clear.
Well, I still wish, and I think that if it would have been handled better, that we would have had OU Texas move and an extended playoff around about the same time.
That's what we thought we were going to get.
Yeah, I mean, it really looked like that's what was going to happen at that point. Absolutely.
And now, has the situation gotten bleaker and bleaker to you with the expansion of the playoff? Because it has to me.
No, well, no. Look, I wanted it quicker, but Gabe, it's coming.
Okay.
I've been hearing it for a long time, Brent.
I think it is because
at this point, a lot's got to happen for me because I might miss some of it if it doesn't.
I hope you are correct. I'll say that.
I mean, I'm still buying green bananas, but not in bulk.
I just didn't. I didn't think that I thought it would be done before the original contract ran out.
Mm-hmm.
So now, look, I still understand now. Obviously, the Big Ten's meeting they're working on, and a lot talked about their TV situation today. So, but and I understand you got to undo a lot of things. The contracts come up and things of that nature. Now, look, here's what will be different, and the commissioners mentioned this that when the contract is up, all you got to have is a consensus. It doesn't have to be unanimous. Now, which is what they should have done in the first place.
Yeah.
Look, in every blooming
we're not
thing
talking
else
about the
we have
polling
in
bureau
life,
here.
Yeah, everything else we have in life, the majority rules. Whether it's business or church or school or whatever it is, that's usually what happens. So, when the contract comes up again, that's where we're going to be. It's going to be majority rules, and I think a lot of ways because of that it will pass, and we will get it.
All joking about age aside, I do hope we get it soon enough that Bill Hancock can be on that stage awarding the trophy to an expanded playoff champion.
Yes.
Because he's one of our favorites.
I agree. I think he deserves that. Now, it's funny you said that, and I'm not starting anything at all, okay? But I really wonder, to Brett's point...
You're already in trouble over your arch.
I say it sounds like you're about to start something.
Well, I just... Look, the thought came to me the other day, it's funny, Brett and I think alike sometimes, and my other brother Brett too, but I wonder if Bill might retire before we actually get the extended playoff. I'm not, and again, I'm not saying he is. I don't have any inside information, but to Brett's point, and what he's saying is, I hope we see Bill Hancock handing it out too, because I think whatever good comes out of this, and there'll be a lot of good with the expanded playoff. Bill Hancock deserves to be a part of that.
So here's the question I want to pose to you, because I look around college athletics right now, and no decisions are going to be made at the top. The NCAA is completely almost dissolving before our eyes. That's just what it is. Don't have a president, no leadership at all. Who is the biggest power in college athletics, in your opinion, right this second? The person that will step up and will start helping us through these times and basically lead.
I've got 4. Go ahead, Brent.
Well, I think Greg Sankey's number one.
He's one of them.
Simply because he is he's on all these committees that make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
He obviously with the commissioners for the playoff, and he's also on this new committee that they've got going on. Now you hear a little bit about Condoleezza Rice replacing Emmerich. I don't know about that one, if that would go. Now I'll say this: if Nick Saban was retired,
he's the second one.
He he would have as much of an influence into this. I think probably right now
biggest voice in the room. If
is
you
anybody.
wanted to.
I mean, Luck. You hear his name out a good bit. I don't know where that would be. Would I don't know if he'd ever leave Notre Dame, but would Swarbrick be involved in that, guys?
He sure could be. Here's my four. Here's the four cornerstones, I think, of college football. One was a guest of ours last Wednesday. I think Jimmy Sexton is and should be in a room on anything going forward about college football.
I agree.
He knows all the economics of it and knows it as well as anyone in the
I feel like
history
people
of it.
would take exception to that, though, too.
They could, and he loves it. He loves the sport. I think he's there. I think Coach Saban's there. I think Greg Sankey's there. And fourth, Burt Magnus from ESPN.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you've got to have a TV guy there who understands it. Now, I'll say this about Sexton. Look, I hear what Gabe says, but because of that would be people who would say, well, Sexton's part of the reason we're where we are. I'll say this: Sexton has enough inside information and has seen enough happen, and I'm going to lean on Brett's relationship at this point of you guys knowing him because he's in that area. But I think he's one of these guys that I think we'd be surprised what he would come up with that people would kind of perk up and say,
that's a great
pretty
idea.
good idea.
That he would.
Is that fair?
He's not only an idea guy; he's a get-it-done guy. He took college football. I'm going to go to the old 5-speed car. We're getting some feedback, Brent. Are you on Bluetooth?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, hope that's better.
You changed rooms on. Sorry.
Yeah.
Imagine the old 5-speed car.
Yes.
When Jimmy got involved in college football, it was in second or third gear, and he threw it up to fifth. And he did, and the sport's better because of him.
Agreed. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think that's true. So, and Gabe, it's not like you bring up a good point. It's not like there's no leadership, but there is some leadership there, and the people we just mentioned, are they going to be, except for Sankey, or the rest of them going to be in a situation?
The people we mentioned,
to where they can actually do something about it.
And this is where we come, like with the NCAA talking about Condoleezza Rice. You need people in the building, in these meetings, that know the damn game. That should be the most baseline.
How about having something successful on their resume?
It's very simple. Like I understand what I agree with your four in a lot of ways, Brett.
Here's something my four have in common. They love it. It's in their DNA. Yeah. You cut them open, college football spills out. You cut open Mark Emmert, it ain't college football coming out. It's just a job to him.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I understand that. Well, and see that, and look, the other thing is, and again, we need, and I don't know where you find them all the time, but I mean, when Jim Delaney was at the Big Ten, and Mike Sly was at the SEC, and I say this a lot, people get tired of it, but they were able to get into a room, put aside their differences, get consensus, and because of that, they got things done that other people, frankly, could not get done, and we need that desperately.
And just came to my brain talking about your four, Brett. The only thing I would say, player representation has to come into this consideration as well. We have to consider that, considering what's going on around the country. Transfer portal, NIL, how much power they have these days. So I think player representation has to be there as well.
All right,
and I don't know if those guys.
Let's go with 5. Let's throw Reggie Bush in the room.
So somebody else
give him his Heisman back.
Good there and has an understanding.
And let me throw Mike Carrasco in there. And the reason I do that is, and this dovetails what Brad said a few minutes ago with Mangus, I think you've got to have someone in there who understands television and understand streaming, whether we like it or not, whether Brett and I like
I
streaming
can't find the
as much as
channels
Jay
now.
does. Don't you have to
Brent, I
have
can't get a
someone in
TV
there?
on at a hotel anymore. I have to call downstairs and ask them how to get the TV on.
Don't we?
Too many buttons on the remote. What are we talking about?
We get out of control here sometimes. Don't we have to have somebody on there, though?
Yes.
Either Mangus or Rasco who understands television.
What college football will look like in 2035.
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
And I think a great conversation. Our guest, Brent Beard, at Brent Beard on Twitter. This Jordan Addison story, and I know there's a lot of things you could take away from it. Of course, on Friday, Pitt coach Pat Narduzzi called Lincoln Riley multiple times to express his displeasure with the situation. Jordan Addison, likely, it's looking like maybe going to USC for NIL deals, for houses, and the whole 9 yards. How have you felt sort of sitting back and watching this situation unfold?
Well, I mean, the reality is, folks have said all week long, how do you prove tampering and how do you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Man alive, can you imagine how on fire those conversations were?
Right.
Between both of them.
And they weren't on
the one thing, Brent, too, and here's the thing people are discounting a tad bit, is this from a tampering standpoint, I don't know if it's players reaching out to players. Reaching out to guys they knew in their recruiting class, guys they know from their areas of the United States or wherever they're from. You can't really control that all that much. The tampering is controlled from the coaching staff standpoint, but players reach out to players all the time.
Well, sure they do, in their third parties or whatever. But the argument you're hearing right now is, how is it tampering if we don't have any rules set up to put limits on this?
I don't mind the point. I kind of understand because there is no leadership. And I don't know either, Brent, what you would do as far as rules, regulations around tampering. How do you control it and make sure it doesn't happen at the level it's happening right now? It's always happened. Make no mistake about it. It has always happened. But the rate with which it's happening right this second, guys not even in the transfer portal being rumored into the transfer portal, it's obvious. It is flagrant.
Does this become, instead of, it's obvious it's going to be a while before we get someone to replace Emmerich, does this end up becoming a conference issue that they end up setting? I'm not saying that they're going to be perfect, but is that the route we go with this, guys? And would we have more enforcement if we did that, or would they cooperate long enough to do it? Let's say the SEC came up with their limitations and their rules for tampering, would something like that work? I don't know.
Yeah,
Here's the rule I want.
That's right.
No rule. No rules. None. There's nothing to enforce.
Yeah. That's interesting. And I've always been of the thought of time will heal these things, but this whole tampering thing, I don't know if time is the answer. It'll sort itself out a little bit, but I think again, the rich have always gotten richer in college football, and I think this example, they're getting richer than they ever have before.
The college football bungee cord always pops back.
Well, and we think it will here too. And look, I know we're getting short here, but it really makes you wonder, guys, if become a member at the NCAA, if they had just allowed these kids to get a little bit of money for autographs and for tattoos, I don't know, throw in there what you will, and had done something about this.
Ed O'Bannon was a trailblazer.
What 5-10 years ago would we even be having this conversation, or would eventually it have morphed into what we've got now?
I think we would have gotten here at some point down the road, but I think a lot of the vitriol, the anger, and what we're seeing right now, and it being used the way it is,
settling scores.
I think it really comes from the NCAA, Mark Emmert, just being so resentful of Jane, didn't want to even try to help the welfare of the student athlete, and
now
here we are now. But Brent, appreciate it, man. As always,
always a pleasure, guys. Take care.
You got it, Brent.
Follow him on Twitter at Brent Beard. Now I got to tell you about some got to go get some barbecue tonight before the game, for dinner, for lunch, tomorrow. You can get it anytime. One, go to eatcbq.com, and you can go order Central Barbecue online. You can order to go at all of their 4 locations. Midtown, that's the OG on Central Avenue, Central Barbecue, you do the math.
And the best turkey sandwich in town.
Downtown, by the Civil Rights Museum. I can second that as well, although I get the pulled pork. As well. It's fantastic. Downtown by the Civil Rights Museum. Also on Summer, and the one you can see me frequently at. I mean, it's just and they also deliver at the Poplar location. New location. We're getting into better weather. They have a turf outside. They have a nice patio. It's great to go eat there. State of the art. Beautiful on the inside. You pop in, you might see me. Say hello if you see me. Also, if you want to get catering for 15 or more people, lunch or dinner, 15 or more people, you want that family-style barbecue delivered to your event, call this number, 901-527-9990, 901-527-9990. You can also order online. You can also ship that barbecue as well. Just go to eatcbq.com. As far as their food goes, start with the sausage and cheese plate. I always go with the wings, though. The wings are fantastic. The smoked wings, you can get them rubbed. I get the jerked or the dry spice. It's fantastic. Then that turkey sandwich that Brett mentioned is also great, but I always go with the pulled pork sandwich. Memphis has gotten to me. I throw the slaw on top, throw the barbecue sauce on top, and I absolutely adore it. Every bite is better than the last. And you can get it at 4 locations. Like I said, Midtown, Central Avenue, downtown by the Civil Rights Museum, Summer Avenue, and the one right there, brand new one on Poplar. You pop your head in, you might see me. Central Barbecue, smoke is their sauce. We're going to go ahead and switch gears. We're going back to some Grizzlies and Warriors discussion, also some NBA playoff discussion with Drew Hill when we come back.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for some action? Sports gambling is legal in Tennessee. Action247.com. Local, legal. A sportsbook by Tennesseans, for Tennesseans. Go to Action247.com. Register and place your bets. Are you a sharp or a first-time bettor? Action 24/7 has you covered. Visit us online at Action247.com. Local, legal. Action 24/7. You got action.
Problem gambling? Call 1-800-889-9789.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Found a great new restaurant in Horn Lake, Mississippi, Mr. Q's Sloppy Joe's on Highway 51, Horn Lake, Mississippi. Bring back those childhood memories from homemade Sloppy Joe's to mouth-watering cheeseburgers, spicy or regular fries, chicken tenders, chicken wings, jumbo hot dogs. Just a little secret, Sloppy Joe's has got that nachos cheese on it. On fire, delicious. Fried catfish that melts in your mouth. Light batter too, even homemade lemon cake. Check us out. Don't forget Q's Sloppy Joe's. Daily breakfast from 7A to 10A. Try Q's Big Breakfast. 3 homemade gigantic pancakes, 3 meats, 3 eggs for $10.75. Generous portions. Come hungry. Mr. Q's Sloppy Joe's, 5441 Highway 51. Just 20 minutes from Memphis. Can't miss it. Beautiful old brick house. Mr. Q's Sloppy Joe's, 5441 Highway 51, Horn Lake, Mississippi.
The Who hits back.
We don't get fooled again.
Memphis, it's your turn.
Sure plays
Pete Townsend, Roger Daltrey, The Who with an orchestra.
Why don't you all fade away?
FedEx Forum, Friday, May 13th.
Who are you?
Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The Who, live in concert. There's more at TheWho.com.
Hi, I'm news correspondent Bob Woodruff. In 2006, a roadside bomb struck the armored vehicle I was riding in while reporting from Iraq. I sustained a life-threatening traumatic brain injury. The military term, "got your six," means I have your back. And that day, our service members had mine. During my recovery, I learned firsthand the challenges facing our service members who return home with injuries. While serving, their fellow service members always had their six. Now that they're home, it is our turn. We started the Bob Woodruff Foundation to make sure that the camaraderie and support they relied on in the military carries on, and we need you. Please join us as part of the Got Your Six initiative and help us be there for impacted veteran service members and their families. They've had our backs. It's time we have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org. That's gotyoursix.org, using the number 6.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Bon appetit.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Papa was a Rolling Stone, but now I got Rolling Stones in the bezel. Ice. Mama at home all alone, hustling, trying to keep this shit together. Mama. Young, smoking on gas, I'm living too fast, my foot on the pedal. Woo. If I go back to the past, my niggas ain't know we'll be rocking Coachella. Hey.
Back rolling. Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn, Brett, Stats, Norsworthy. Certainly efforting Drew Hill right this second. Going to have him in just a moment. That is the plan. Now, I saw this news sort of drop about the Warriors versus Grizzlies game 1. This average and this viewership is just amazing to me. It really is. 7.7 average, 7.7 million average viewers. And also, that's the most watched conference semi game on ABC for 11 years. Also peaked at 10.2 million viewers on a Sunday at 2:30.
Get ready. The Grizzlies, as I've said, and Drew Hill, our guest coming up, we hope, he tweeted today, get ready for this year on Sunday at FedEx Forum. I think one of the earlier games, look, anytime works for me. I know it's tough for a lot of people with little kids and things like that, but any time of the day would work for me. But we're getting ready to finally do it this year in Memphis. Jaren, the Grizzlies will be the host and will be the feature. It won't just be, that's how it fell out scheduling wise.
It's gotta be Christmas Day in Memphis.
I'm correct. Christmas on a Sunday this year. Is that right? Yes,
think so.
I am right.
Yeah, you have to go pull up that calendar. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
But Sunday. So the Grizzlies have just put themselves in that position now with all these young players, with what they have seemingly going forward.
Their box office.
A very well-to-do owner who can spend and keep all these guys. It's obvious what this is becoming. And you've said it all year, the powder keg, sitting on a powder keg. It really is that.
We are. I've said since late January, I thought the Grizzlies would win it all this year, sitting on a powder keg. I picked them to win it before the playoffs began. I'm still with that. I think they will win this series 4-3. I'm going to quadruple down. I think tonight will be easy.
We can really? Why do you say that? Just because of the pressure being put on them?
The Grizzlies on Sunday played well but can play better, and I thought that was the effort from Golden State Sunday.
I understand that. The only thing I would say is I think the Warriors have more. It's a good effort. Yes, I think effort, but Warriors' execution was not as high. Grizzlies shooting and making more threes than the Warriors, I don't know, is something that we can see replicated.
Get more from Bane.
You can get more from Bane, but Bane with this back injury, there's certainly some things there.
We sure can get more from Dylan Brooks.
I guess I'll say that. This is where I would say I don't think anything that has to do with the Warriors. I don't think playing the Warriors in any fashion, regular season, postseason, is ever easy. unless they're missing Steph and Draymond. I understand that. But tonight, it's going to be tough because you know what the Warriors are thinking. You know the intensity they're going to come out with. They want to go up 2-0 and demoralize a young team that hasn't been there before.
This makes it really easy on them. Now, I don't know that they are the same force at Chase Center, downtown San Francisco, that they were at Oracle in East Bay in Oakland. I don't know that. I think this will be the first real big series since they've moved there because between COVID and limited fans bubble. Yeah.
Oracle used to be rocking, though.
Oracle, for sure.
Yeah.
It was quite the home field advantage.
So, tonight, first and foremost, we're going to keep trying. We're going to effort Drew Hill. May have to reschedule with him at some point, but we're going to effort him throughout this segment. One thing I pointed out to start the show when it comes to the Grizzlies, defensively, they just have to be more locked in, less frantic tonight. That's the big thing. Offensively, though, I still love the thought process behind John Jaren this entire series. Ja, I know he's going to be able to get into the paint, get those paint points. They're going to leave him open from three. Hopefully he knocks down a few, gets that confidence going like he did in game one. But Jaren, on the other hand, I rewatched game one. Do the Warriors have anyone? Realistically, we're talking about Jaren, his offensive game. I know he can be out of control at times, and that's the issue you run into. He plays a little dumb at times. But Jaren, if he is locked in, is there anyone on that Warriors team that can really test him on the defensive end? I think Draymond Green would be up there. I think Draymond Green would be up there, but they didn't match up Draymond Green on Jaren Jackson Jr. once.
No, I think Jaren will go around him, especially if you got too tight on defense. There was a time or two on Sunday, if anything, out of that great performance Jaren did wrong. It was a lot of dribbling a time or two.
You know what? It's bizarre with him too. He doesn't take his set shots. He'll pump fake and then step back and then take a shot. Just take it in rhythm. You'd think it would be better. He did knock him down though. You can't. 6 for 9 from three. It is what it is. But terrific. I was confused to see the matchups that Steve Kerr was trying to throw at him. Started with Klay Thompson on him, which was very weird. Then Andrew Wiggins, and he tried Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney has no chance against Jaren Jackson Jr. So we'll see how they try to defend him in game two, but I think Jaren has the potential to be a game breaker every single game this
Taylor
series.
Jenkins had a great matchup against Chris Finch in Minnesota. That was he won the battle of that coaches. Brett Northworthy here for FanDuel. Go yard all May long with $5 Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel Sportsbook. This season, customers will get $5 for every home run hit by both teams when you place a $25 to hit a home run wager on Tuesday Major League Baseball games. A lot of games today. I mean, I think 16 schedules, a couple already rained out, but a lot of baseball today and tonight. And the best part about Dinger Tuesday is even if your bet loses, FanDuel will pay you $5 for every home run. Here's my home run tonight. It's Aaron Judge to do it for the Yankees in that big series in Toronto against the Blue Jays. So what are you waiting for? I just picked my home run hitter. You pick yours and turn the big swings into big wins. There's no better place to bet that America's pastime than on America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel. Head over to your FanDuel account and download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code CASH. That's promo code CASH. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $25. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
We're going to have to go ahead and reschedule Drew Hill. We'll try to get him later on in the week to talk some Grizzlies versus Warriors. We're going to go ahead and get to an early break. When we come back from said break, have some MLB baseball to get to, have some NHL to get. We have a whole bunch to get to on the other side, including NBA playoffs. More Grizzlies versus Warriors. Stay with us on Sportstime with Game and Stats.
Get your afternoon started with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sang and Sports 56 Grind Time. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I love how Memphis loves golf, even city government. Overton Park is getting redone. Pine Hill is being completely renovated, and Fox Meadows is getting new greens. Public golf has never been better. There's a new app for your phone, Memphis Public Links, where you can make tee times, view special offers, get tournament information, find out the latest golf news, and virtually stay in touch. You can download it at the Apple App Store. There are several new golf tournaments this year, including the Mayor's Cup, and there will be a Player of the Year based on performances throughout the season. You can't beat Memphis golf. Galloway is in perfect shape. Audubon, right in the heart of the Poplar Corridor, is a true test of golf for any level of player. The city has invested in public golf like never before. So, if you haven't played a city course in a while, try it. I assure you, you're gonna love it. Memphis Public Links.
In the alley since 1948, Mr. Charlie Virgo's world-famous Rendezvous. John, you and your family continue the great work at the Rendezvous. Next year will be the 75th birthday party. Let's start the party now.
Brett, there are so many visitors in town to watch the emerging Grizzlies and to see our great sights and sounds in Memphis. I see them all the time at the restaurant. I want them to know Memphis is a great foodie town. There are so many family-owned, locally owned great restaurants that have stood the test of time. I won't mention all because the list is too long and I don't want to leave anybody out, but I will mention Jim's Place Grill because my cousins own it. It's a great restaurant and they've stood the test of time, and they are this year celebrating their 100th anniversary. And of course, any visitor that comes to Memphis needs to eat barbecue. And I've said this before, there's great barbecue all over Memphis. I know because I eat it. But if you just have one night to eat barbecue in Memphis, it should be the Rendezvous. It's such a special place with a special staff. And by the way, next year we will be celebrating our 75th anniversary.
The world-famous Rendezvous, serving Memphis in the Mid-South and with the shipping serving the world.
Everyone needs protection, whether you're on the field or on the road, so make sure you have the best. Bob Simpson State Farm Insurance can buckle you up with auto insurance, can back you up with life and health insurance, cover your business whether it's starting, growing, or maturing, and don't forget to insure your home, no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call Bob Simpson today at 901-381-1233 or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.org. Stay protected with your good neighbor, Bob Simpson.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by the Big Green Egg.
Oh, nothing but the best.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Still plenty to come on Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn, Brett, Stats, Norsworthy. I'm Gabe. He is Stats. Our producer, Bryant Dacus, doing a great job over there today on the ones and twos. But plenty to come up. Bo Marchant at 5 o'clock. Talk some NFL draft. 5:30. We have to break down the Memphis quarterback situation. Grant Gunnell, I think, surprised a lot of people. Did a really good job in spring ball, in spring practice. But he ended up getting into the transfer portal for the second time in his career. But that's certainly something to keep an eye on. We'll talk about that at about 5:30, 5:45.
And we're going to catch up with Drew Hill.
Drew's joining us?
He's connecting, and we'll catch up with Drew because we want to talk a little more about Game 2 tonight.
Okay, so we will be talking with Drew Hill. As far as the injury report for the Grizzlies tonight, still have Steven Adams out. Zaire Williams is questionable. I don't know how much they'd use him if he does indeed play. But Desmond Bain, this is something that we certainly have to watch going forward. I'm curious about how that's going to play out. But we bring on Drew Hill at Drew Hill_DM on Twitter. Drew, how's it going, man?
I know it's crazy these days. How are you, man?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, just totally my mistake.
No worries.
All good,
I have
man.
my phone sitting right next to me, and it wasn't on sound, and I just totally...
Have you got enough rest traveling back and forth between Memphis and Minnesota? I know you were running very short.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the truth, which I said this on my radio show, or my podcast.
Yeah, same difference.
So I can say this now. I had COVID. The last week, so I have not been able to leave the house. I was in isolation doing the whole thing. So, yeah, it's been a crazy week. I've been trying to work from home, but I'm cleared now. I'm good. I got a negative test.
Symptomatic? Are you okay?
How are you feeling?
No symptoms. I had the sniffles one day, which is the reason why I took the test. One of the days I got back from Game 4 in Minnesota, and it's my understanding, this is not reporting, but I was not the only one who came back to Minnesota with COVID.
Yeah, I think it was widespread.
Yeah, and so that was actually right after they had stopped requiring people to wear masks on airplanes too. So the first time I rode on a plane without a mask, I got COVID. I made it this far. This is the first time I had it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's been a little crazy. You could say that, to say the least.
Well, I'm glad
driving
you're feeling
everyone
well.
around me crazy because I've been so busy.
Wait, so you just missed game 1 of this series?
Yeah,
Do I have that correct? Okay.
Not able to attend. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So you're back in the building tonight.
Yep, I'm back tonight. Yep.
That'll be a good one. I saw those numbers you put that you retweeted by, I think it was John Oran from Sports Business Journal. Those ratings numbers are unreal.
We're there,
and I agree with you too. Christmas Day has to be on the NBA's plans with the Grizzlies.
Oh, I don't see how it can't be. When you have, like, the Hawks played on Christmas Day this year. Right. Come on, guys. Like, if the Hawks played on Christmas Day this year, the Grizzlies should be on Christmas Day next year.
There's almost another word that needs to go in front of Hawks, but we won't use it, Drew.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So what did you think of game 1? I thought the Grizzlies certainly played hard, competed a lot better than some of those wins that they had against the Timberwolves. But Warriors are up 1-0, and they eked that one out, 117-116.
Look at it how you want. I think you can fairly look at it anyway. I mean, to call it a missed opportunity for the Grizzlies is fair, given everything that went well for them. They got some good breaks at the end of the game. They got the Draymond ejection, so there was a lot there. I mean, Jaren has only scored that many points, I think, 3 other times in his career, so a lot went really well for them. They still didn't win. So if you want to be negative, if you want to call it a missed opportunity, fine. But you can also be positive. I think that game, if anything, proves that it's going to be competitive. Like, this is going to be a competitive series. Whether it's 4 games to nothing or it goes to 7, these games are going to be competitive very clearly. And the Warriors are not the Timberwolves. The Grizzlies clearly match up a little bit better with the Warriors. That doesn't mean it's any easier competition. It just means that, they physically match up a little bit better. Because Golden State plays a lot differently. Like, they want to space you out and punish you on the perimeter in that way. But they're also, because they want to do that, I mean, it makes them really hard to defend. But they also don't have a guy who's really going to attack Jaren repeatedly in that way to get him in foul trouble super quickly. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but it's just less likely than when he was playing against a guy like Karl Towns. And so you've got that element. And then the other element is they don't really have a big man that's standing in the way of Ja getting to those floaters and Ja getting all the way to the rim. I think he just, this is a better matchup for him, and that therefore it's a better matchup for the Grizzlies. That doesn't mean it's an easier series.
Right.
Like, it's very clearly a more difficult series because the Warriors are just better. But the Grizzlies do match up better with the Warriors than they did the Timberwolves.
This series is winnable, though, isn't it?
It is. I think if the Grizzlies win it, it's going to go 7. I mean, I think you got to win 1 at home. You got to win 1 at Golden State. And then you get 1 of the next 2, and you get it to 7 back home. I don't see any other scenario where the Grizzlies win it. I'll be surprised if they win it in anything less than 7, I think, personally. Mm-hmm. But yes, you can win this series. You got to get this one, though. You drop this one, you're in big trouble.
So the one thing I thought I was going to see, I went and rewatched a lot of Game 1 last night. The one thing I thought I was going to see is offensively. I thought I was going to notice Dillon Brooks and Desmond Bane not necessarily showing up on the offensive end. Really, offensively, I couldn't help but notice Jaren Jackson and Ja Morant being who they were the other night. Defensively is where I saw some of the issues, and I think they were some of the same ones that arose in that Timberwolves series. A lot of faulty closeouts and a lot of open threes that they cannot afford to give up against the Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors are going to do some of that against anyone that they play, but you're right. I think that there were some miscommunications there. And it's interesting because Taylor Jenkins was a little bit snappy when he was asked about Ja on defense. I think it's because they're going to defend their best player, and they just don't want the negativity floating around their best player. But, I mean, it is true. Like, Ja defensively is not the strong suit of the Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. And so, for as great as he is on offense, They need him, and they need guys like Jaron and Brandon to play alert at all times and really move to the ball a little bit better. There were times that they did a good job of that in Game 1, and there was times that they slipped up in Game 1, and I think you definitely need to clean that up if you want a chance here.
Drew, back to the Minnesota series. I said that was really a sterling performance by Taylor Jenkins in that series. Do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I think he did a good job. No matter who you are and what lineup he throws out there, he's going to get second-guessed. That's just part of this gig. It's hard to be an NBA head coach. I get tweets all the time from people saying, of course you're not going to criticize, you're not going to ask the hard questions to Jenkins about the lineups or whatever. It's like, yeah, but I could do that every single game if I wanted to. You know, like,
and then you'd be that guy. And you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, it's so hard already for Taylor to do his job. Like, it's a little bit beyond me, the people that seem to think that the lineups really have had an impact, because I think he did a great job, like you said, Brett, in that Minnesota series, just putting the right guys out on the floor and not being afraid to make the big adjustments.
It's trial and error. It's trial and error in the playoffs, too. A guy like DeAnthony Melton ended the season on one of the bigger heaters we've seen any Grizzly have in a long time, and then nothing in that series. It's trial and error, and it's tough.
Yeah, and you're going to see Melton this series because they don't have a choice. They got to play him. They just don't have enough perimeter guys to defend Golden State if he's not in. So he's going to play, for better or for worse, in this one.
So what do you think about the whole Brandon Clark possibility? Do you think at this point, and I know Steven Adams, when he comes back off of health and safety protocols, likely going to be inserted into the starting lineup. Do you expect to see Brandon Clark in the starting lineup tonight or Xavier Tillman still?
I'm in the minority. I mean, I think it's going to be Xavier, but I'm in the minority where I still wouldn't start Brandon.
Okay.
I understand why people are calling for Brandon to start, but Brandon has been a better player off the bench in his career, across his entire career, and he pairs so well with Tyus. I want to keep that together. I want him to be the first guy off the bench because he's such a good energy guy. That's what I want. I don't really want to break that up, and so I'm probably in the minority here, but I would still bring him off the bench. I'd bring him off the bench early, like give him starters minutes, but I'd still bring him off the bench.
I mean, he's still playing 30 minutes a game, and he has been. I mean, where you have the guys you're used to getting production from. You have Jaron, Ja, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks struggling at certain times during this little playoff run. Brandon Clark has been the only guy consistently, night in, night out. He gives you production.
Yeah, he's probably been the most consistent big for the Grizzlies, this entire playoff run. Maybe the most consistent player so far.
Right.
And I say that only because, Desmond Bane obviously was great in the last series, but he finally had a tougher game in Game 1 against the Warriors, and there was Brandon still doing his thing. So he might be the most consistent player for the Grizzlies this entire postseason.
Yeah.
He's been super impressive. And I think, the Grizzlies are definitely going to have a decision to make this summer because he's going to be eligible for an extension if they want to give it to him. And so that'll be something that they definitely have to consider.
Mm-hmm. Well, we will see you tonight down there at the Forum. Drew, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, sorry for the delay.
No worries.
All good, man.
We know how crazy it is. Glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, see you guys.
Thank you, Drew.
You have a good one. You can find him on Twitter at DrewHill_DM. All of his work at DailyMemphian.com. Now, let me tell you, when you are a guy like me, this is just my experience. After football, you try to find healthy options. You eat a lot during your football career, yada, yada, yada. You have to find healthy options. And Humdingers does that for you. Humdingers is a frequent. Taylor and I go there all the time. They have just great healthy options. You can get the peri-peri chicken. You can get the rice. But today, I have to highlight the fact it is Taco Tuesday. It is Taco Tuesday. Those fish and those chicken tacos are just fantastic. And you can find their location, Poplar at Massey in East Memphis, 6300 Poplar Avenue. They're on the phone, 901-260-8292. That's on the phone, 901-260-8292. And a couple of things that they do also outside of just going and getting lunch, go and getting dinner. They have a fit, fresh meal prep. If you want to lose some weight, if you want those healthy options, they can give that to you. They also have corporate catering with a healthy approach. Their shrimp and grits they have added, and they are fantastic. Also, I talk about Taco Tuesday. Tonight, go get those chicken, go get those shrimp, go get those fish tacos. They also have fish and chips Friday. $8.99 on a Friday. Go check out those fish and chips. Again, at Humdinger's, Poplar at Massey in East Memphis. Phone number 901-260-8292. That'll do it for hour number 2. On the way is hour number 3. I have a lot to get to. NFL draft discussion with Bo Marchant. 5:30, we talk about the Memphis quarterback situation with Grant Gunnell into the transfer portal. We'll be right back on Sports Time with Gabe and Stats.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
It's time to vacation at home with Family Leisure. That's right. Enjoy a vacation in your own backyard with a little help from Family Leisure. Like play gyms and trampolines, they're now $500 off. And those trampolines, by the way, they've got that mesh on the side, so trampolines are now safe and you'll be the hit of the neighborhood. They've got hot tubs in stock and ready to go, and you can get up to $1,000 off when you pick them up. All kinds of do-it-yourself pool specials, like savings of up to $1,500 on all in-stock pools when you pick it up and install them yourself. And if you're looking for patio furniture, then stop on in, because they have tons in stock and they're ready for you to pick up. So get ready for that vacation at home with the help from Family Leisure. Family Leisure's Vacation at Home sale. It's happening right now at Witten Road and I-40, where family and fun truly do come together.
Visit Frontier Western Store for the very best in everyday clothing and boots. Frontier is the top Carhartt store in the area. There are thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans by Carhartt, Wrangler, and Ariat. Entire departments for men, women, and children. Not just a rack or two. You can outfit the entire family today, and you'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Frontier's world-famous boot showroom continues to expand. New styles by Ariat have just arrived, and whether you need them for work or dress boots, Frontier is the place to come and see them. Thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and more. So visit Frontier today for great local service and in-store pricing that's lower than online and chain stores too. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967. Oh, and don't miss the rodeo coming to Olive Branch. That's right, Bucking and the Branch Rodeo, presented by M5 Productions, is coming to the Olive Branch Soccer Fields on Church Road, May 21st. Tickets on sale now at Frontier Western Store.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets, with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli, with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
You drove it, you love it. What more do you need to know?
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Hour 3 upon us. Sports Time on Sports 56. Gabe Kuhn, Brett Stats Norsworthy with you. And joining us right now, very pleased to be joined by our good friend Beau Marchant, at Beau Marchant on Twitter from collegetopro.com. And also from Sports Illustrated. Did a really good job during the NFL draft covering it. Beau, how are you, man?
I am wonderful. How are you guys doing?
Cannot complain. I really cannot complain. Now, I can complain, and I did complain yesterday. Brett heard me, first and foremost. Why so much smoke with this quarterback class in the NFL draft? Why did – and I know we seem to do that. We try to overvalue quarterbacks. We put them on these pedestals. But this year was an inordinate amount of smoke around.
You couldn't roast a weenie from the flame. It was all smoke and no flame.
But that was my hardest thing to try to think about going in the draft night, because the facts told you that they weren't first-round guys. But it's the most predominant position in the league.
Right.
So if there's anything you're going to reach for or possibly just even try to grasp, it would be the quarterback. So I didn't, listen, I did say last week, I did so many shows, I said I didn't think Malik Willis would go in the first round, and that came to fruition. So I felt very confident about that, and I thought him or Pickett would probably be the only two. At the end of the day, I think Pittsburgh looks kind of foolish even taking Pickett that high when you see where everybody else went. So, we get caught up in it it's the position that we all talk about. So if we got fooled by it, I wouldn't blame ourselves. It's just the product of the environment. They're quarterbacks. We love them. They're what make the NFL go. And, next year there's going to be, there's Bryce Young and crew. They're going to be, there's definitely going to be some of them guys. We're not going to be debating on, where they go in terms of, what round.
I've already seen guys predicting 6 or 7 quarterbacks taken in the first round of next year's draft. That's already here.
That won't happen. Yeah, it'll be probably 4 to 5 guys. Guys will drop off, guys pop up, and that's the thing. Every year, there's always that hot quarterback that comes out of nowhere.
Mac Jones
this year,
last year.
Yeah, even Matt Corral and Pickett were 2 guys, and I know Matt Corral didn't go in the first, but those guys weren't projected first-round guys. I mean, his name's escaping me, but the Oklahoma quarterback that got I can't think of it right now. But, he was the predominant number 1 guy going into this, draft, and then he gets benched.
Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler.
Yeah. So, it takes Logan Thomas, Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
He was the number 1 prospect for a long time. Now he's a tight end for the Washington Commanders. So
that's a story. That's a good point.
What they're perceived to be today is a far, far, far cry from what they'll perceive to be on draft night. And those are two scenarios where, fans can think about those and rest on them and think that, just because you're projected to be something today doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're going to be directed when it matters the most.
Beau, you cover a team in the Steelers so very closely. They're one of them. Every year I've had you on this Tuesday after the draft, it feels like we're mentioning the same teams that always get it right. For years we would say in Ozzie we trust with the Ravens. Well, Ozzie's not calling all the shots anymore, but we can still trust their draft room. I thought they had a great one. When we get to potential Hall of Famers, I know Gabe loves Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa, went 25th overall in the first round to the Ravens. That team you cover, and not just because of the local flavor with Calvin Austin with the 4th pick and Mark Robinson from Ole Miss in the 7th round with the 225th pick. I think they both help them. I think Mark Robinson will make the team. I know Calvin Austin will. I think Mark Robinson makes the team. If not, he'll be a late, tough cut for them before opening day. But you look at Kenny Pickett at 20th overall. Do we know definitively he would have been there for them to take him 52nd when they took George Pickens?
I'm glad you brought it up, Brett. I think he would have been there to take 52nd.
Wow. Well, they do have regret then.
I think they do. I regretted the pick that night. I didn't see a guy in this draft that would say, hey, this is better than what they have, or, and it's not to say we don't know, but I think the familiarity with them, with Pickett, I think it's hard to see a guy at that level, at that position, when it's a position of need and you're around that facility every day. And we've talked about it so many times where that facility, like I said, it's kind of like a giant Walmart. And if you walk through the entrance and you go to the left, you're on the Steelers side. And if you take a couple doors to the right, you're inside the pit.
They know him well.
So they do know him well. They know him inside and out. So I think it was a perfect storm of possible failure, if you will, where they had no other choice. It was a position of need. How could you pass on this guy if he was there and he ends up being, the guy for somebody else? It's too much to not, you can't escape it. But at the end of the day, I know they did their homework, but I think he could have lasted. And when you see Desmond Ridder, Malik Wilson, Matt Corral, all these guys slip, I just think it put a little bit of egg on their face. And I love the franchise, and they've been very successful. I mean, last year, Najee Harris, and you took Pat Freiermuth in the 2nd round of Penn State. 2 dynamic rookies. T.J. Watt, pick 32 a couple years ago. So they know what they're doing. But this particular pick, I don't know the long-term value of it. I'm very, very skeptical that this is going to be a winning pick.
How do you feel about how that quarterback situation may sort of figure itself out with Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett now in that room?
Well, I know Tomlin and those guys, they're very reluctant. Even when Le'Veon Bell was in camp and he looked like a Hall of Famer in camp, he looked like an amazing individual. They were very reluctant to even say that he'd be starting week 1 and, it'd take time for him to carve his place out on the team. With that said, I think they'll follow the same pattern with Pickett. Even if he's lights out in camp and he outplays Trubisky, they'll be reluctant to say, hey, this is the day 1 starter, and you'll probably have to take it down to the final days, or even knob it into a little bit into the season if Pickett's able to, outduel Trubisky for that starting job. It's going to be a tight race. Everyone's excited because, you always want, I call it your Christmas gift. You always want to wrap your Christmas gift. You don't want to play with your old toys no more. But, after a couple of days, you might want to get back to, the old toy out because the new one's not quite what you thought it would be. Listen, I cover the team. I hope Pickett wins 9 Super Bowls. It'll just be more fun for me because I get to go to the Super Bowl. So, I want it to succeed. I'm just giving my honest opinion that I'm very, very skeptical that this guy, can take them. I mean, the AFC alone, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, the addition of Watson to Cleveland, these are powerhouse teams. And I just think if you're going into this thinking that you can get by with average or mediocre quarterback play, you're not going to win it.
That division, Burrow, Lamar.
Burrow, yeah. That's where I really, that's when the Browns made the move for Watson, they put themselves in a power seat. I mean, very few teams have a guy at that ability. And when that guy's in the game, you figure, you know what, we got a shot. I don't think you feel like you got a shot if Jared Goff's playing. I don't feel like you got a shot if Mitch Trubisky's playing. You're just like, well, if things break the right way, we might win. You got Patrick Mahomes. You're like, things got to go the wrong way for us to lose. So, and I think that's where Pittsburgh's at in their quarterback situation.
Of all the 32 teams in the classes that they actually just put together in this draft, who jumps off the page for the good and who jumps off the page for the bad?
Well, I mean, in Brett, Ozzie Newsome, the Eric DeCosta, the whole Ravens thing, it just seems like the right guys fall in their place. And every time I look through their board, I just think, wow. I mean, they got Travis Jones, Connecticut, late. They got Kyle Hamilton, who's considered one of the top prospects at 14 out of Notre Dame. We know who he is. And then the center. You got Tyler Lindenbaum, who's technical tough, athletic. I mean, the only thing you can knock him for, he's a little bit undersized. And I know the Ravens have a history of the Matt Burks and those guys are all about 6'4", 310 centers. So he doesn't necessarily fit the pedigree of that position that they've used. But other than that,
6'2", 290.
wow.
Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, 6'2", 290 seems to work just as well these days. Especially like you could look at guys like Jason Kelsey around the league.
It works.
They all can't be Ryan Kelly in Indianapolis. That's perfect for any
but I thought the
position.
Ravens knocked it out of the ballpark. I thought the Giants did a great job with Thibodeau and Neal. I mean, you got two guys that could have been possibly the number one picks, and you get them at 5 and 7. I think worst case scenario, one of those guys pans out. And I wrote today, I don't know if they'll put it out tomorrow, but like Kayvon Thibodeau, we saw his personality kind of unleash, that flamboyant, fun personality. If he makes it in the Big Apple, I mean, he is going to be a star among stars. He's going to make, Michael Strahan.
He'll get compared to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's almost where I want to go with my future Hall of Famer out of this draft, but I'm not. I'm going to go with the hometown close enough product, and he make the difference for them on defense, and they need it all. And I wanted to go with Traylon Burks, but it's just so crowded at wide receiver. So instead, I was torn between Thibodeau, but I'm going to go with Aiden Hutchinson doing that thing off the edge.
Oh, I like that one, Brett. Yeah.
Interesting.
Dave Campbell's fired up for him. I know that.
I've already made it
called
very clear. Yeah, Tyler Linderbaum. And honestly, like looking at this class, Bo, when you look at can't miss guys, who really was that guy this year? Is it Aiden Hutchinson like Brett is sort of saying right this second, or do you think it was a guy like Tyler Linderbaum?
Well, I think the linemen are a little bit more sound, but it's a little bit more difficult to make it. But they look like the safer pick. I think Charles Cross at Mississippi State. I think I think he's the best pass protector.
It's run blocking, right? That's the concern.
So, in a league that loves to pass the ball, he's if he pans out to play anything equivalent to what he's supposed to be, he'll be the highest paid lineman in 5 years. I think listen. I know I'm such a sucker for LSU defensive backs, and Stingley going third made my day because it was one of those things. I always, the Will Ferrell thing in Zoolander. Am I on crazy pills? Like, how can we not love Derek Stingley? I mean, this is the DB factory of college football. They just produce one after the next. If you look at his 2019 tape moving forward, he was the best guy. If he plays to that level, I think he's untouchable. But I would say Cross right now. He would be my guy. Stingley a second, and then maybe a distant third. And I hope it works out because I love Jordan Davis, the D tackle from Georgia who went to Philly. He went to 13. I thought he should have been at least a top 8 pick. I mean, the way he plays, I think he's a difference maker. So those are the three, but I would put Charles Cross number one.
And the one thing with Charles Cross, and I agree with you, from a pass protection standpoint, it's unheard of. He got to do so much of it at Mississippi State, but the run blocking, I would say I'm concerned for the reason that he didn't get to do it. I don't think he can't do it. I've seen him be able to do it, but he didn't actually do it. So I think that learning curve might be there for him.
And I wonder if there are any great Mike Leach run blocking offensive linemen. I don't know the answer to it, but none.
I'd bet against it. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It goes back to if you're a run, maybe for the Tennessee Titans, he might not have been the ideal bookend, but Matt Rule, I think he wants to put the ball in the air if he's still there. But nonetheless, the quarterbacks, we know this going in, were lacking, but this wasn't. I think when you look through the depth of this draft, there's a lot of quality. Even undrafted guys, there's some guys still aren't signed it. Jalen Foster out of South Carolina. I mean, he was first team all SEC, led the conference in 5 interceptions. He's not even signed yet. So it just shows you the depth of this draft. Again, quarterback, nope, that's not what you want. But everywhere else, it was pretty deep, and I think we're going to have some fun with it. A lot of receivers, deep running back class. We know they're diminished and they get pushed down the boards, but Tyler Algier to Atlanta in the 5th round. There's nobody in Atlanta. This kid from BYU, he's a sensational running back. Damian Pierce at Houston, 4th round back, another guy that he's a shifty, dual everything type guy that can he's going to excite people in Houston. Put it that way, and. I said, I really, really like this class. I could go on and on. Linebackers, there's so many to mention. N'Kobe Dean going in the third round. I mean, it just shakes your head. I mean, this kid's a thumper. He's a playmaker.
83rd pick. There aren't 82 better than him.
I'm going to be honest, too. That was another name, and it almost scared me off when we're talking about potential Hall of Famers out of this class. That was a name that, like, I probably
what do they know? I don't know.
Would have thought about if he wasn't a third-round pick.
Hey, Bo, here's one, and I know it's easy, and he's almost become a caricature. But was Tyler Smith from Tulsa that bad for Dallas for all that criticism for Jerry Wayne Jones?
No, I don't think so at all. For a lot of time when I would up and do my mocks, I had Tyler going there. I think he'll transition to a guard, but nonetheless, they need all the help that they can get. So I think he'll position to the left side of the line as guard. And then you'll have the other Tyler there on the strong end. And but we got this right, guys. We thought Dallas would have to go to the O-line to kind of replenish what was missing in terms of getting that offense going. No, I don't have any problems with the Tyler Smith.
So you don't think they could have waited till 56 and probably got him there?
I don't.
Okay.
If you're a lineman and you know how much these guys are valued at the next level, I mean, if that guy like him, talking a 6'4", 325 tackle at Tulsa is around at his level, he's not lasting much into the second round. Trust me, teams aren't foolish. They're going to be like, you know what, we could get a recivor the same quality in the third round, but we're not getting a Tyler Smith of his quality, somewhere, in the 50s. It's a matter of that. You're taking one pick to kind of set you up for the next. And I think that's a little bit of the jockeying and the positions that we see, and that's the one reason on draft night I thought there was an outside scenario that possibly Jacksonville may elect to go O-line, just because it's possible they could have got, a quality DN guy, at the top of the first, or they could have just snuck inside, the end of round one and grabbed another one of those guys, because those two positions, they were pretty deep.
The Tyler Smith thing, though, is a head scratch, because I've watched Tyler Smith play. Very good player. I think he can translate inside. I think you're fully correct on that. But last year, 12 holding calls in 12 regular season games. And that's the only thing where you
it's
get
not
to
like
20.
The Cowboys need more penalties.
Yeah, you get to 24 and you need a right tackle and you need a guy like that. And maybe he's the best left on the board right there, but I think there's a delicate balance between need and going and finding the guy who can make an immediate impact and sort of bless your team, the best possible available player. And I thought to a certain extent they missed in that regard.
The difference between need and a reach.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we look at New England with the reach.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but that's the fun part about this is the teams are the ones grading the guys that they pick. So it's kind of like knowing the answers to the test that you made for yourself.
Jerry pulling up his piece of paper, their draft board on the piece of paper and trying to point to it was rich.
Almost like me bringing the newspaper in.
Rich.
So it's a team's assumption on what these guys perceive these guys to be. You could have called the New York Jets and like, listen, we had Tyler Smith ranked as the 13th best guy in the whole draft, or they could have said the 77th best guy.
Right.
It's all what you guys, each team, I mean, that, what they perceive, or even us, somebody might love an individual. We were talking about the Hall of Fame guys earlier. Which guys? We all had three different answers because we all have an opinion. We'll know in about, 20 years who's right. And but until then, you just kind of watch these careers develop.
Right.
I did like the Smith pick. I put it this way: I thought it served a need, and it's picking there. Serving the need. I think it was going to be an offensive lineman, and that's where I think it comes down to which guy from that group, the interior guys, bookend guys, what was the best available. And I know Smith was a guy that was in that range. So I don't think it was a reach. Might not have been the perceived guy that somebody else wanted, but nonetheless, I like them going with that position, and I'll back the Smith pickup.
Bo, they don't meet this year. The schedule comes out for dates and times and all that good stuff on May 12th, but we know the opponents for next year. They don't meet, and they won't meet in the Super Bowl, so that's the only way they can. But I can't wait until Bill Belichick gets a chance to play Les Snead and Sean McVay because that laughter, that picking at him. The last time they played against each other in the Super Bowl, he held offensive guru McVay to 3 points.
3 points. Yeah.
3 points.
Yeah. They're kind of backtracking on that now. So they're trying to finagle their way out of it. But
no, they were laughing at BB, and I thought you got a lot of nerve, guys. Y'all shine that one trophy.
Brett, you know what? I don't know where Gabe stands because he's a little bit young. He's a lot younger than us, but I think I'm closer to your age than I am Gabe.
You are.
I think that's like having your old man and you doing something bad at the dinner table. You know what was going to happen after that. So I think that's Belichick with those guys. I don't think that's going to sit nice. You're going to get disciplined pretty heavy. Yeah.
They'll pay.
Real quick, before we get you out of here, last thing for you, Bo. The Titans. What did you think of their sort of thought process behind what they did in the draft? Obviously, trading away A.J. Brown, which a lot of Titans fans are taking exception to, but they go and get Treylon Burks.
I think they got junior version of A.J. Brown or Xerox copy. He's the same guy.
He is. Listen, I hope it pans out. The only thing I can think of is, the Vikings got rid of Randy Moss. They took, I think, Troy Williamson 8th or 7th or 8th in the next draft. We know how that worked out. Listen, I love Burks. I love Treylon Burks. I hope he pans out. If you're the Titans, you didn't want to sacrifice that kind of money to pay a big-time receiver who's missed some time. So, they did the educated thing, saying, listen, we love you. We could keep you a little cheaper. We would, but we can't. So they made a move, and then they brought in a guy that basically is almost a carbon copy of what they gave away. So hopefully Burks pans out. I applaud the move. I like it.
It almost feels, and I know Vrabel and John Robinson have connections, it almost feels Patriot Way-esque. It's sort of we're thinking down the line. We don't want to pay you this $80 million, so we're going to go try to find somebody who can replace that production. Thinking about sustainability.
They still have Derrick Henry to keep them honest. I think Tannehill can make those throws. I don't know if he can make the big throw, but he can make those throws.
But Mike Vrabel did have a weird face though when he heard that A.J. Brown was getting traded away. He didn't look all that happy.
Well, I mean, you never want to hear that a guy of his potential is going to be, but he knew deep down that, franchise-wise, money-wise, the way that these receivers are getting paid, let them go. And look, we saw Devontae Adams, we saw Tyreek Hill. I mean, I know Devontae was a free agent, but nonetheless, he could have went or he wasn't, but they traded him. But they didn't want to pay the money.
Yeah.
Tyreek, they didn't want to pay the money.
And don't feel sorry for A.J. Brown. They have banks in Philadelphia. He'll be fine.
Yeah, $25 million a year.
And I don't know how much time we have left, but then it kind of broke my heart because when I saw A.J. Brown's excitement, and you're going to be disappointed, but it really looked like he was genuinely beyond expectations, adulations, every positive thing that you could think about when he was talking with Jalen Hurts on Instagram or whatnot.
Yep.
And I just thought, dude, you just left a team that had the most wins in the AFC. I mean, this is a top contender for the Super Bowl. It kind of broke my heart. It's like, I guess, you know what? Everybody's a player, but there's only few that are called champions. And I think at the end of the day, I want to be called a champion. And I guess I'll leave it at that.
I'll also take $100 million, though, too. I gotta be honest with you, bro.
He thinks he'll win anywhere.
Yeah, I'll take 65 in a ring.
Okay. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. The old Tom Brady pay cut. I hear you.
Well, and Gabe, Brett, you guys know this. You'd think more would do it, but nope. They're just too selfish and dollars and the amount of rings. It's amazing that Tom Brady has made the blueprint of how to do it, and these quarterbacks, all players basically. But
now in fairness, Bo, every other player doesn't have a wife worth $600 million.
Yeah, that is.
And Giselle does.
Yeah, and I'm always just being in.
And they're not sweating the light bill at the Brady bunching
having friends playing professional football. Go get paid while you can. Go get paid while you can. Because it don't last long. It does not last long.
And next year it's over.
Yeah.
Bo, thank you so much. We'll continue talking draft in the offseason next week, and we'll be getting closer to the schedule release. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it, Bo.
Absolutely. Have a great week, guys.
You got it.
Have a good one.
Bo Marchant with us every week. And NFL, it never rests. DeSoto Auto Sales, they bring us this third and final hour. We appreciate them so much. They are our title sponsor, and they've been with us for a long time. They're very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. Go online at DeSotoAutosales.com and check out the beautiful cars and check out the testimonials of all the repeat, very satisfied customers at DeSotoAutosales.com. 662-890-7184. All the cars test driven, all thoroughly examined, checked out bumper to bumper, head to toe, every make, every model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find that special car just for you. You'll be treated like family at DeSoto Auto Sales by kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, down-home environment, and they care about your time. They want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. You walk in within 45 minutes, test drive your car, credit approved, paperwork completed, and you're out of there in time, plenty of time tonight to get downtown to the Grizzlies game. They know we live in a world today that time really matters, and that's why they've really simplified and streamlined the process. Visit them online at DeSotoAutoSales.com or head to 5704 Goodman Road. Get on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience you've come to know and love and trust at DeSoto Auto Sales.
We go ahead and grab a break. When we come back, news that really flew under the radar with the Grizzlies going on, with the NFL draft going on. Grant Cannell, quarterback at Memphis, former Arizona quarterback who transferred into Memphis from Arizona, has entered the transfer portal, and it is definitely something worth discussing. Quarterback depth could be an issue. Looks like Seth Hennigan will be the guy going forward. We have all that next. You're listening to Gabe and Stats on Sports 56, 98.5.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Aw, you didn't have to go so all out for my birthday.
Yes, we did. Because birthdays are about showing your friends how much you care for them and how grateful you are for their... This is Jamie from Progressive. No, this is a great time. Progressive protects you 24/7. Oh, I'm sorry that happened.
Jamie.
Can you hold on one second? I gotta take this call, but remember, birthdays are about togetherness.
Contact us 24/7 on the phone, online, or on the mobile app. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
In the alley since 1948, Mr. Charlie Virgo's world-famous Rendezvous. John, you and your family continue the great work at the Rendezvous. Next year will be the 75th birthday party. Let's start the party now.
Brett, there are so many visitors in town to watch the emerging Grizzlies and to see our great sights and sounds in Memphis. I see them all the time at the restaurant. I want them to know Memphis is a great foodie town. There are so many family-owned, locally owned great restaurants that have stood the test of time. I won't mention all because the list is too long and I don't want to leave anybody out, but I will mention Jim's Place Place Grill because my cousins own it. It's a great restaurant, and they've stood the test of time, and they are this year celebrating their 100th anniversary. And of course, any visitor that comes to Memphis needs to eat barbecue. And I've said this before, there's great barbecue all over Memphis. I know because I eat it. But if you just have one night to eat barbecue in Memphis, it should be the Rendezvous. It's such a special place with a special staff. And by the way, next year we will be celebrating our 75th anniversary.
The world-famous Rendezvous, serving Memphis in the Mid-South, and with the shipping, serving the world.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
This is a damn fine automobile, if you want my honest opinion.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
There's a set going strong, a lot of things going on.
Brian liked when I said Xerox copy, didn't you?
Yeah,
I did like that. I like that a lot.
That's old school.
Yeah.
Xerox copy. Yeah. What were you talking about?
That Traylon Burks and AJ.
Oh, yeah, Xerox.
That was a good.
That was a
good one.
That was.
I don't think we have a Xerox machine. We do have a copy machine. I might need it. We need to teach him how to use it, huh?
I know how to use a copy
We sure?
machine.
We
Yeah.
sure?
My mom's an English teacher. I've copied a lot.
I
We also have a printing machine that I sometimes use to print out my MLB notes.
I got an email from our printer.
Really?
Have y'all ever gotten those emails from here? I got an email from our printer.
On your personal account?
What'd it say?
What'd it say?
Like I had.
Just had numbers and letters.
No, it had something that I could. I thought I hadn't seen. How do you even know I exist? How do you know how does my printer know me?
Printers are taking over. I'm telling you, it's the robots.
Hey,
AI.
You know, it was kind of funny at the break. I don't think you caught this conversation, but Brett was looking in. He finally saw some Met Gala outfits.
Oh, which ones did you see?
He saw Kendall Jenner.
Risque.
Is Kendall
I
Jenner
haven't
with
seen
Devin
Kendall-
Booker?
Okay, which one's with
She's with
Travis
Devin.
Scott? One's with Travis
Kylie.
Scott.
That's Kylie.
Okay, that's Kylie. Yeah, Kendall's with Devin Booker.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
previously
Kendall's.
with Ben Simmons. Previously, I think
she
James Harden.
Yeah, she likes her some basketball.
No,
players.
James Harden was.
And Cardi
That was
B.
close.
I can't keep
I
up.
don't
I
know.
can't. You saw Cardi B's too.
And
I didn't see Cardi B's.
one stumble.
Rated 1 out of 10.
A lot's less letting loose.
Rated 1 out of 10. I need yours.
10.
What about Kendall's?
10.
Nice. There you go.
What is up
Well
with
done.
Kendall Jenner's eyebrows?
Are we rating eyebrows?
They're
Come
like
on.
super thin.
Come on, Brian.
She looks like an alien.
I'm not going to be picky.
We can't rate eyebrows on this
sorry.
show.
I'm
We
sorry.
do.
I just
we
saw
have
me, like,
fun. We
they
have
stick
fun,
out.
but I am not rating eyebrows.
Well, she like
That's
trimmed
right.
them up. I don't know what to tell you. They're barely there.
I draw the line there. I think that's a fair line to draw. No eyebrow
I like
discussion.
Future's fit for
Okay.
the Met Gala.
A Future. He just dropped an album too. Brett and I had a listening party the other day.
Did you?
about it,
Wow,
yeah.
glad.
Brett's a big fan.
My invite must have gotten lost, just like Brett's Met Gala invite got lost.
Guys, I'm old enough to remember Kendall Jenner's dad winning the gold medal.
Yeah.
In the decathlon in '76 in Montreal.
Yeah. I don't remember that. I know about it.
I watched just about every minute of the Montreal Olympics. Loved it.
Mm-hmm. We've come a long way from that.
We have.
A lot of things have changed. A lot of things have changed.
They have.
All right. Grant Gunnell.
Dean Smith, the U.S. basketball coach that year.
All right, Grant Gunnell discussion. Before we no more eyebrow discussion. Can't get into that.
I'm sorry.
So Grant Gunnell, after a good spring, I talked to you about this before the spring game and then after. I thought we
wanted competition.
Showed a lot of force with his group that he was going with. He showed some leadership qualities, and he showed that he could still push the ball downfield. I know he had injuries last year, but to go into the transfer portal right now, it's kind of sad. He certainly got lost in the shuffle.
That's the end of the competition.
Yeah, that's the end of the competition. He must have been told, and this is just my feel on it, he must have been told that Seth Hennigan's the guy going forward, or at least had the feeling that Seth Hennigan's the guy going forward, because the truth of the matter is Grant Gunnell can go help another team right now.
What kind of conversation is that, Gabe? Do you go in and go, all right, is he ahead of me? Yes. By a nose or by 10 furlongs?
Well, this is how you tend to know. Either the coach tells you, hey, go look at other pastures, right? You have a chance
Yeah, it's a pretty good sign.
That's the good sign. That's the obvious sign.
Okay, fine.
But also to see Seth Hennigan out there with the ones, getting all the ones reps in the spring game, you sort of see writing on the wall at times, and that's generally how guys
what does
get it
this
done.
do for Tevin Carter?
He has to grow up fast. He has to grow up fast. And for Tevin Carter, in the spring game, saw a lot from him that I was very impressed with. Deep balls, unimaginably good. I mean, 60 yards in the air, right over the shoulder, dropped a couple in the bucket. I mean, he looked fantastic, but that's a growing up process. You got to get done as a true freshman. And we saw Seth Hennigan do it. But Seth Hennigan comes from a football family, right? His dad is the Bear Bryant of Texas football head coaching. So it's a different process for Tevin Carter than it was for Seth Hennigan. Seth Hennigan was running these things in high school and understood them coming in there. But for Grant Gunnell, I couldn't help but think, like, it was a sad stay for him at Memphis. It really, and obviously may have, make friends, teammates. That's always a good part. But
never hit the field.
Injury, big injury, rehab, spring semester competition with a guy that's a stud that could be the future cornerstone of the program, and then you have to transfer.
With this schedule that I brought up with Greg Gaston last Thursday, that every time I brought it up, I say brutal. Where do you work in a young quarterback at all? I mean, any snaps in a game.
No, you don't work. I don't think you work anybody in unless you have like packages that you really like, goal line running packages that you want to work them in on. I think you stick with the guy you have.
I mean, I don't think a backup gets in September or October unless it's doomsday.
And that's the problem.
That is.
That's where you run into last year's exact issue. QB depth is now a legitimate concern yet again. And we saw it last year. Peter Parrish having to play against Central Florida. In Central Florida, that was a winnable game.
They were gettable.
That was a very winnable game, even at their place. Now, you get them at home coming up next year. So that's a good thing. But if Seth Hennigan has a finger issue like he did last year, if he rolls an ankle, you put yourself in a very, very, very tough position. And
did you feel any of this percolating at Friday Night Stripes?
Not particularly, no. Now, I thought whoever won the battle, the loser of that battle would then think about moving.
An August thing.
Yes, but I didn't think it was over yet. I didn't think it was over. Now,
it's going to be an August thing in a lot of places.
You know what it reminds me of, though? Like, really thinking back on it. I think I brought this up to you. It reminds me of, on a better team, obviously, it reminds me of Paxton Lynch versus Piano Man.
Yeah, you did.
It really does.
Play me a song. I'm the Piano Man.
Versus my man Jacob Karam. He's a good guy out in Houston. I think he's a lawyer now, so good for him. Always very smart,
decision
bright guy.
Made.
But it reminds me of that because Seth Hennigan really is the future of the program. And you can't risk angering a guy like that. You can't risk him leaving when you have so much riding on what he could potentially be. And it was like that with Paxton and Jacob Karam. Paxton was 3-9 his freshman year. If Jacob Karam would have replaced him and played in those games, you may win 5 games. You may win 4 or 5 games.
Get you.
But what does that do for you? So if you have this competition that's close and it's not super discernible who is the better guy, I think you go with the guy you think you can develop, the younger guy, the guy you think you can bring along and keep the longest.
Gabe, in the history of the University of Memphis football program, that was one of the great decisions ever made.
It was. And at the time,
how much debate inside was it?
Oh, I feel like I've told this story a whole lot. So we had a leadership council. All the guys on it, Al Bond, if people remember Al Bond, there was a bunch of guys on it that year, seniors, juniors. And they walked into Coach Fuente's office, sat down. Jacob Karam got them together, by the way. Piano Man got them together, that whole thing. They go into Coach Fuente's office, sit down with him, and they say, well, we really think that Paxton is struggling. He may be the future, but right now we want to win games for the seniors. We want to go out with a bang. We want to try to make a bowl game before it's too late. And in not so nice language, Coach Fuente said, "Get out of my office." That's not happening, basically.
Good for him.
And it's
coach.
Looking back at it, though, it's an understandable decision. I think when
history was kind to him.
In the moment, you want to win. I understand that. You want to win games and you want to be the best you can, but you do have to think about as a coach.
Because I said Friday here, talking about players' meetings in Minnesota, may have not had one. I said to Bryant Friday when you were away for birthday celebration, I said, some of these guys, some of these coaches throughout history, if they had heard about a players only meeting, they would have kicked the door down.
Yeah.
I run this team.
And they would have made you run at 5 a.m. the next morning.
And again the next morning.
Yeah, but as a coach, though, in Fuente's position, you have to make that decision. You have – the decision he made was not only, if you had hindsight.
It was
correct.
changing.
It was program changing, but you have to make that decision in that moment. Because you have to think about your job and what's on the line. This year, if I go 3-9, that's not going to be the end of me. But next year, if I don't have this guy developed and we go 3-9 again, that could be the end of me. So you have to make that decision in the moment, and without question,
Ryan Silverfield's
the correct
not there,
one.
though.
No, he's not there. But what I'm trying to say is, moving forward, you have to think about the future of your program.
Third year's
and
big
Seth
everywhere.
Hennigan is the future of your program in the grand scheme of things. He just is. The talent's there. The experience now is there. He's smart, and he's a possible cornerstone, a face.
In our area, we have a lot of third-year guys. Coach Silverfield here, Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, Mike Leach at Mississippi State, Sam Pittman at Arkansas, and Eli Drinkwitz at Mizzou. I don't think any of those guys are in trouble. Throw up a 3-9 and see what happens, especially if you're Eli Drinkwitz.
Right. Now, again, this is not what Fuente inherited. Like, I understand that fully, but the point still stands. You have to go with the guy who could be the cornerstone, the face of your program going forward, and that guy is Seth Hennigan.
And he'll be out there first, no doubt. Now, opening night against Mississippi State, which will be huge because the payback factor that State has in mind, they do, after last year's controversial game. And being in Starkville.
I don't want to make a mistake about it, though. This is a big loss. For quarterback depth.
Competition, yeah.
For competition. Hennigan, it seems like Seth Hennigan won the competition in the grand scheme. That's the reason that Grant Gunnell is in the portal right this second. But the depth factor is the issue. You don't want to end up with Tevin Carter out there as a true freshman. And I know it was necessitated last year to have a true freshman in there, but that was not their plan. So it's a huge loss. Make no mistake about it.
It's getting close to dinner time, and don't forget any of these great locations at Jason's Deli for dinner time. At Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova. So good at breakfast, so good at lunch, and also right now, if you're getting ready to head downtown to FedEx Forum or you want to watch the game and get some food to have for a game-watching party of your own, you can do it at Jason's Deli. Over 200 Memphis area associates with this Jason's Deli group. And at these locations, Ridgeway Road, Poplar and Highland, Olive Branch, and Cordova, you can always wrap it up with a complimentary ice cream. But so much food, so good for you. Dine in, to go, delivery. They like to say wholesome food forever. It's a family thing, and it is at Jason's Deli. Healthy, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. It's all about choice. Regardless if you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the Build Your Own, you can at Jason's Deli, and you'll be delighted. Plenty of organic food to choose from. Catering anytime, anywhere, no order too large. 5 or 5,000, they have it covered. All the salads, all the meats, the cheeses, the breads, the spreads, all so good, like the Mesa chicken salad, the chicken club salad. I love the taco salad and the salad bar. Over 30 items to choose from. There, you build it however you would like. All 30, put it on the plate. You got it at Jason's Deli, and you can check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Let's grab our final break of the day. Then we get to the house with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I often say they've set the bar for the way car business should be done at Homer Skelton Hyundai. You know how close that is. It's right there at Highway 78, Lamar Avenue, and Craft Road, the very first exit in Mississippi. I say it because they always come up with new innovations. And right now, when we've had all these shortages on new cars, Homer Skelton Hyundai is always going to come through for you. You won't pay more than the sticker price for a new car at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's Chris True's pledge. You'll never pay more than sticker price. Those other guys, they could charge you a whole lot more for that new car because they know there's a shortage. That never happens at Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's part of the philosophy and the team that's been together for about 15 years now. You want the best of service? You want the best of products? It's the combination and the trust you'll always get from the best guys around. Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch.
Progressive presents today's to-do list for your dog.
Check front door. Check window. Check other window. Rest chin on ground. Look into distance. Bark for no reason. Check front door. Check window. Check other window.
Your pet has a very busy schedule, so it's up to you to make sure they're protected. That's why Progressive Car Insurance covers your pets for up to $1,000 if they're ever in a car accident with you.
Chase shiny ball. Lose shiny ball. Find shiny ball. Eat shiny ball.
Get coverage for your pets with anti-auto policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Regions Bank presents Live at the Garden 2022 at the beautiful Memphis Botanic Garden. This year's lineup includes Steely Dan June 11th, Darius Rucker July 15th, Lady A August 20th, the Doobie Brothers and Michael McDonald September 3rd, and Chicago October 20th. Season lawn and all individual concert tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, go to RadiansAmp.com. Also presented by Duncan Williams Investment Bankers, AutoZone, Gossett Motors, True Green, The Lily Company, Pro Show, and Mahaffey Events.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk, chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Make them drive the car. Make them touch it. Feel it.
Here once again are Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy.
Yeah. 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 I fantasize about this back in Chicago. Mercy, mercy me, that mercy a lie go. That's me the first year that I blow.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
It's obviously crunch time. Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
I learned today, and we briefly discussed it with Brent Beard, but as far as the AAC is concerned and the Big 12 is concerned, the changes are coming sooner than later. Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, all negotiating a settlement in the $17 to $20 million range to join the Big 12 next year. Also, the Conference USA teams that are joining the AAC, FAU, Charlotte, North Texas, Rice, UTSA, UAB. This would clear the path for them to join next year as well. If they don't actually get this settlement done in relatively, if they don't get it done relatively soon, it looks like 2024 will be the first date that they will join. But Cincinnati, Houston,
that could start
UCF.
the dominoes, couldn't it?
Yeah, Cincinnati, Houston, UCF trying to get out ASAP.
I learned that the Eagles made a good trade and had a really good draft. Will it make up 3 games in the NFC East? Dallas finished 3 clear last year. Jalen Hurts is good, but he ain't close to being Dak Prescott. I don't know if they have enough to make up 3 games.
Dak, yeah, come on. Dak Prescott, I understand that, but I don't like comparing to Dak. And I understand it's NFC East, but
he's head and shoulders above the other quarterbacks in that division.
Yes, I don't disagree with that, but he's got to show me more. Winning the NFC East doesn't do it anymore. They got to start competing for championships.
That's right. It is, and the NFC East is not where it once.
Like I guess I'm saying the bar of Dak Prescott does not mean much to me anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Let's show some respect.
You were the one who you trashed Dak Prescott. You like Tony Romo better.
But you're not wrong.
But he's cleared the bar of being a playoff contender.
Yes, he's cleared that bar every year.
That.
Yes, although he wasn't in the playoff.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Because kind of. Yeah, kind of expanded.
17 games.
Expanded. Yeah, it is what it is. What I could have done without today, and honestly, part of it is good that the U.S. is going to try to help Brittany Griner, but Brittany Griner is now classified as wrongfully detained by Russia. The U.S. State Department has said that, and it means officials will try to negotiate her release rather than let Russian the legal system play out. And it's gotten to the point where they have a former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Bill Richardson. He's worked privately for years as an international hostage negotiator. That's
former
what he
governor
does.
of New Mexico.
He has agreed to work on Brittany Griner's case.
I don't want World War III for any reason. I sure don't want it over the detention of Brittany Griner, though.
I understand that, but there still hasn't been a formal charge, and it's been 75 days. At some point, you have to really stand up for your citizens.
We
you
know
have to move on.
Their
and go
system doesn't run like ours, right?
I understand that,
I mean,
but
not a lot of due process.
They're just holding her.
No habeas corpus over
but
there.
I don't mind. I don't mind. You got to raise awareness. You got to raise pressure.
Yeah.
WNBA is trying to do that. They're putting decals on the floor with her initials
And
and
they
her number 42. I hope this all works
the NBA
out.
should embrace it.
I really hope this all works out, but this is just an ugly situation.
It is, and could get worse. Could have done without, and this could be my standing could have done without maybe for 40 years. I'm serious. One of my least favorite sports figures of all time, and you talking about the thing that will not go away. He's worse than Minnesota. Greg Norman, biggest egomaniac, cult of personality, maybe ever. I'm so glad he choked up all those majors, especially 96 at Augusta National. It would pain me. It would pain me to see him strutting around there like visiting royalty with that former winner status, that green jacket. I loved every missed shot in 96. And now he's still talking about that tour with Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
And he just will not get out of our hair.
Mm-hmm. You do not like Greg Norman.
No.
No one really likes Greg Norman, to be fair, though.
I'm telling you, up there with my least favorite sports figures ever, because there was a pocket of Greg Norman fans that were ready to anoint him as the greatest player ever, even with all those major shortcomings. He wasn't. Are you to close the door?
Also, what I could have done without DeAndre Hopkins, that 6-game PED suspension, both him and his trainer have come out and said they have no idea how this actually happened, because I think he tested positive in November, but before that, October, December, he tested negative. So I don't know what to say about this. I actually, weirdly enough, I think I kind of believe that he didn't try to put things into his system. So we'll see what happens with that. But he did say he apologizes.
It's either on the approved or not approved list.
Yeah, he apologizes to everybody and says he'll be back Game 7. Also, real quick before we get out, Saints agreed to a deal with Tyrann Mathieu yesterday. Homecoming for him, going back to Louisiana. 3 years, $33 million. Also, Falcons and Grady Jarrett agreed to a big contract. I don't know what the Falcons' direction is, though. Do you? Seems kind of.
I don't, but
I trust Arthur Smith, but the direction right now is kind of confusing.
Tonight, Game 2 at FedEx Forum. Speaking of Arthur Smith at FedEx Forum, just play like the Grizzlies. Just need to play like they did on Sunday with just a little more, maybe 2 more points, and that will get there most nights. Bucks and Celtics in Boston. B's versus C's, the champs against the legendary Celtics. Full night of the hockey. Preds at Colorado.
The hockey.
Any state pride for the Preds? Y'all carry any?
Absolutely not. Let's go, Kraken.
What are you talking about?
No state.
I can't like the Predators. Okay. Blues in 6. Come on. By the way, 10-0-1 in their last 11 versus the Wild.
That is a fact.
Yankees in Toronto. Southsiders on the north side. White Sox at Wrigley.
Mm-hmm. This Celtics Bucks series, Celtics got to even it up.
Must win for them.
Celtics got to look better than they did in Game 1. They got to find an answer for Giannis. I mean, I know that's hard. It's easier said than done, but my gosh.
Go Grizzlies.
He did whatever he could. Yes, go Grizzlies. That's all we have for today. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Rob Fisher, Brent Beard, Drew Hill, and Bo Marchant for their contributions to the show today. For Brett, for Brian, I'm Gabe. Enjoy your night and be safe. Enjoy the Grizzlies game. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios. Grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers. Everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town, open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2.25. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
In the alley since 1948, the world-famous Rendezvous. John, it's so good to see everything kind of getting back to normal.
Brett, we've done a lot of ads before, but maybe it's time for me to do a recap. We have valet parking at the end of our alley on Monroe. On Fridays and Saturdays, we give away our wonderful red beans and rice until it runs out. And you know we like to do things local. Miss Barbara Jackson of O Taste and See has been making these wonderful chess and pecan pies, that's pecan, not pecan, and key lime pies for dessert. And we just started serving this wonderful gelato from Sweet Magnolia Gelato Company. And just to remind everybody, you don't eat cheese and sausage with a knife and fork. You take a cracker, you put sausage on it, you put a piece of cheese on it, a little mustard or a little sauce, take a bite and chase it with the pickle. Brett, we've always been the place for all gatherings, whether they're corporate, rehearsal dinners, retirement parties, birthday parties, whatever. We seat anywhere from 20 people to 250 people. And oh, by the way, we are now open for lunch from 11 o'clock on Tuesday through Saturday. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis.